Welcome to the Pop Punk Emo Supremo Podcast, featuring your host, Roper. Hey. Also featuring the better host, Hunter.
We don't know about that yet.
All right, we got ourselves quite an episode. We have an interview with Ryan from fucking
Goalkeeper. Come on, man. I know it's the morning time.
Dude, yeah, this is the first time we've ever recorded in the morning.
Yeah, this week has just been a snowball effect of hell. So.
Oh, yeah, no, this whole fucking week.
And it started with Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, no, Thanksgiving fucked everything.
Yeah.
And we're still recovering. And then we also have an interview. Not really. It's more of a phone call that I cut up in the pieces to make it more comparable.
Yeah.
And that is with Ben from the band You, Me, and Everyone We Know.
Yes.
We're going to discuss his great fucking album, Some Things Don't Wash Out.
Yes.
And I'm really excited to, this is the second time we recorded this. And we made it halfway through that album, which is probably like 70% of the show. And then all the audio just fucking disappeared.
Yeah, I think we had a good 45 minutes worth of recording, and we were high energy, ready to go.
We
and
were fucking killing it.
And then all of a sudden, everything was lost, and I wanted to finish recording, like try it again, but I knew at that point we weren't going to be able to continue on.
Dude, I would have been so bummed. It would have been me going like, the next song, it's pretty good. And that's just like, yeah. I just know like what would have happened for me. When I'm bummed, I need like time to recover.
Yeah, so you guys are lucky that no, I'm just kidding. I was gonna say you're lucky that we like you, but no,
yeah,
we wanted to give you the best presentation that we could possibly.
Also, this is episode 5. Not that that's like a huge number, but that's 5 episodes that we've consistently
made a whole month.
Mm-hmm. Like, a whole fucking month.
It's a good milestone. So like, I know in the last recording that we did, we tried to talk about feedback. Do you want to talk about some feedback?
Did we talk about feedback?
Yeah, we did, because our last episode was the Sad Thumbs.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I feel like we reached out to a different kind of audience, not only with sad music, just with dealing with our problems and how we overcame some of our problems, and kind of in that self-help world, I would say.
Yeah.
So we had quite a few people reach out to us about saying like, thank you, like your problems are so relatable to mine and stuff like that. So that really made me feel good. I felt like we're still getting used to this and trying new things, but for us to reach a whole different crowd of people too in that is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's rewarding to see anything we do like have an impact. You know?
Yeah.
And I think it's slowly becoming more impactful as the show goes on.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see like when we get to episode 100.
Yeah.
And like see how far we've come, you know.
Yeah.
My cousin listened to the podcast, and he used to be like a big old Time Low fan, and some similar bands like that. And he was like, "Yeah, I listened to your podcast." And then after, I was just like, you didn't even mention it, but I just started seeing Simple Plan's What's New Scooby-Doo. And then like there's no hesitation. And we both just went, "What's new, Scooby-Doo? We're coming after you. We're gonna solve that mystery." Yeah, it was fucking dope. So
that's awesome.
Not all sad stuff last week.
Yeah, we did get a pretty positive message out there though too.
Yeah,
so.
And I'm happy that we can bring the lighter side and a bit of like the sad parts of life all into one podcast.
Yeah, and I feel like that makes us more relatable to our audience as well. So
yeah,
thank you guys for listening and reaching out to us.
I appreciate.
And if
the
there's
time you've taken.
if there's anything that you guys are struggling with or need, you could always, if you don't feel like you have anybody, you could always message us and just.
We talk to everybody that ever messages us.
Yeah.
And if we didn't, sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like we have, but I don't want to
like
tell a big old lie.
Yeah, feel free to reach out to us. We'll help you out the best that we can.
Well, Roper, we got quite the fucking show ahead of us. Let's go ahead and get started. every week we pick 3 relatively new songs to discuss. Roper, you want to hit us off?
Yes, our first single that we picked is by a band called Sincerely Me, and their song is called Claw Machine.
Yeah, first of all, big sucker for acoustic-y jams.
Yes.
And that's definitely what this is. Kind of not usual for a band to release a single that's an acoustic song.
Yeah, but
I was thinking about that.
If you kind of listen to more of their music, it's a lot like this. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I this is my first exposure to Sincerely Me, so I kind of looked at a few of their songs, but I enjoy it.
It's also same for me. I know my girlfriend likes them, and so she's talked about them, and I know the name, and then I finally listen to a song, and I'm like, you know what? It's not bad. I just love when I can disagree with her.
I feel like you like disagreeing with a lot of people.
No, I fucking don't. Okay.
But yeah, I like this song. It's like really well written and it's super catchy. Once you get past that first, like once you get to the chorus, that's what sucks you in.
Mm-hmm. I can completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Definitely a big fan. Do you have anything else on this song, Rope Dog?
Like lyrics wise that I like,
or anything
just
like that?
I really like the I'm just a broken string that's always been longing to hold you tight. You're just a melody that's been stuck in my head all night. At the bottom of a claw machine. It's almost like I don't exist. So
why'd you say it like that?
I don't know.
It's almost like I don't exist. I don't even exist to you.
Yeah, I'm just at the bottom of a claw machine.
And fucking 14-year-old Roper joins the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, 14-year-old me, I don't know if I would have listened to this, but like 16-year-old me definitely would have loved this song. Would have been like, oh, this will go on my self-loathing playlist. I'm just at the bottom of a claw machine.
I really want you to make a playlist on like our Spotify and just call it the self-loathing playlist, and it's just this song.
It'd be perfect.
I fucking dig it. Want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's go on to the next. Well, did you have any thought, like, any parts of that song that you liked? Or
I see, when I do these podcasts, I'm usually so fucking prepared.
Yeah.
And this time it was just not the case. I will say, and I've already kind of touched on this, just like acoustic music generally has this way of kind of like seeping into your soul a little easier.
Yeah.
And I think it did a very good job at that. I like the claw machine aspect of the song.
Yeah.
I like the comparison because first of all, never fucking even heard that comparison before.
No, like,
it's a super original idea.
I wouldn't even be able to think of that analogy or comparison, you know?
Yeah, same. I feel like he was like trying to win something with a claw machine. He's like, this fucking bitch broke on me. And he's like, wait a minute. He just starts writing.
I'm just like that teddy bear at the bottom.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a good song.
Next song is I'm Working Retail for Christmas by We Are the Union.
Yes, this one's Christmas themed, obviously.
Yeah, I figured if I was going to put a Christmas song on this podcast, it wasn't going to be a cover. I don't like Christmas song covers and like pop punk thing. I don't know what it is. I just don't like Christmas because I have a lot of flashbacks when working retail, which this song touches on. So I was like, okay, fine. You know, why the fuck not?
This song definitely goes there and it explains the retail experience perfectly. Mm-hmm. I worked in retail for 3 years at JCPenney's, and you just kind of see the devil come out in people.
Oh my god!
From Black Friday to about January 15th.
Yeah, how did we go from a day of like thanks to a day of give me that, and then just like people start fucking swinging?
I don't even think I think the way that I look at it is like Thanksgiving is your meal before you go fucking like
it's your big prep.
It's
like
your
all
Black Friday pregame.
You get done eating, you kind of feel like you're like, all right, this is all gonna be worth it at like midnight when everything opens.
Yeah, you take your nap from like 6 to 10, and then you wake up, drink some coffee, and stay up all night and fight people over shit that you don't even necessarily need or like you don't want. You just see that sale price, and you're like, well, I could buy this stocking cap for $5, even though it's originally $5. But
it's like, yeah, that was a point. It's like, even if it is on sale, almost always it's like a shit sale, unless you get to like the electronics, and it's like, okay, I've seen some big sales.
That's
there.
where you can get the good deals, but a lot of those like electronics, they're like, I don't know, say like from video games or like movies or something, they're marked up to their full price throughout the year, and then Black Friday hits and you get like this like 5 for 5 deal or 10 for 10, shit like that. I don't necessarily know. That's just an example. So people go and get like their.
If you can get 10 video games for $10,
that'd be dope.
That fucking Walmart's
but they
going
get
down.
their like they get the games and shit that they've been wanting all year for a lower price, and
yeah,
that's the good deal in my opinion. But everything else fucking sucks.
Yeah. Well, Roper, I'm gonna tell you what I liked about this song.
Yeah.
I'm working retail for Christmas. I don't know why, but it's a catchy fucking hook.
Yeah, it hooks you in right away.
There's this part in the song where, like the music just stops. He's like, "Can you just say excuse me?"
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Oh man, fucking right, brother, dude." I work in grocery stores, and I basically put pop on a shelf, and it is monstrous about how fucking rude people are.
Yeah.
And that's not even like retail. I mean, it is, but it isn't, It's, I don't know, dude. There's just something about like rude people that like get my fucking panties in a wad.
Oh, same here, dude. I have PTSD from working at JCPenney's just over people bitching about coupons that like they get illegally and stuff like that.
Dude, I have nightmares about my job today. Like, I'll fall asleep and I'll be like all comfy, and then like I'll wake up from a nightmare going, "I'll get you too," or something like that. It's just like
you're swinging in the air when you wake up.
Yeah, pretty much. Dude, I wish if I could throw a swing at work, I think my job would be way better.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll let you be rude to me once, but if it's twice in a row, it's fucking go time.
It's like close your eyes and you flick someone in the eyelids,
But We're the Union, super fun band.
Very fun.
I like, so they're a ska punk band, and I have like I just love brass instruments. So
yes.
Anytime that there's a ska punk band on here, you got to know it's from my picking.
And also and I think it was our first episode where we dropped Jer's single, and what does he play in We Are the Union?
He plays some horns.
Yeah,
I don't remember which one.
I think it's a trombone.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, but he plays the trombone in We Are the Union. So if you like Jer's solo stuff, you'll definitely like.
Yeah, or Scott 2 Network, which is his other thing.
Scott 2 Network too. Yep. Definitely check this one out. It's a fun Christmas song.
Yeah, if you have to listen to Christmas music, this one's good for you.
If you're making an alternative list.
Oh yeah, if this isn't on the alternative list, I am not listening to it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't listen to it to begin with because I don't like Christmas music. But if I had to pick one and this song was on, I'd listen to it.
Perfect.
Roper, let's go on to the main act here.
Here is the what I was most excited to talk about, and I'm sure you were as well.
Yeah.
A little band called The Wonder Years put out their second single in their pair of singles for their Upsides and Suburbia 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, what's this song called?
It is called Out on My Feet.
I have so much to say about this song.
I do too, man. I love this song so much.
Yeah, when Breaklets first came out, which was the other single they released, I think that was like a month or two ago.
Yeah, that was early November.
Yeah, and I was listening to it and I was like, this is fucking great. It hits back on the roots of Suburbia and whatever the other one is. I can't fucking think. Yeah, dude, my fucking brain's gone this morning. Like, you could ask me that any other day. I'd be like, I just list you the whole fucking discography. But it's in the same vein as those two records, which they were released a year apart.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense why they're trying to, like, especially with COVID, they're trying to, like, mush these 2 records into one, essentially, just so they can push out, like, quality 10-year anniversary stuff. They released a bunch of merch that looked awesome that I put into my cart and saw the $17 shipping and then deleted. Yeah, it's... Honestly, I think the Wonder Years really killed it with this song.
I know,
really fucking killed it.
We heard it early as well, so I don't know.
A whole day early.
Yeah,
I cheated.
I saw their announcement and it's like Wednesday, and then like 5 minutes later, I get that text from you, and I like, is this what I think it is?
Yeah,
and it was, dude. So I kind of want to touch on the some of the lyrics that I like. So basically, this song is the daily struggles of what he went through about 10 years ago, like while he was like riding the upsides in suburbia.
Mm-hmm.
He was working like shitty jobs just to fund, well, I mean, just to survive, and so that way he could play in the Wonder Years.
Yeah, I'm curious if he did, like, he talks about working a double and stuff, and I'm wondering, like, is he working double because like, is it because he's focusing that money on the records they're about to write?
Yeah.
And I was just curious about that. It's something we probably won't know, but I'm guessing, like, music, in case you guys didn't know, costs a lot of fucking money to make quality music.
And I feel like it was a lot more expensive too 10 years ago.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm not sure. That's a good question. I would like to know that answer.
Yeah. But so I mean, I could totally relate to this song. I really like their chorus. I'm sick of smelling like kitchen grease. Can't get it out of my clothes.
Can't get it out of my clothes.
I'm sick of scraping the windshield clean.
That's how Dan sings it too.
Yeah.
That was a good rendition.
Yeah.
Rendition.
Yeah, that chorus is so awesome. But I like the part too of sick of chasing the sun. Sick of beating the sun to work. Pale light starting to glow. I'm sick of racing it home, because this, especially this time of year, after daylight savings and stuff, you wake up and it's dark and you have to go to work at like 7, or like your case 4:00 in the morning.
I'll get up at 4. Yeah, freezing cold. And I'm really envious about people that can wake up and, like, by the time they're out of bed, like the fucking ice on their windshield melted off.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck those people, dude. Every single morning I'm fucking shivering my balls and I'm like fucking scraping as much as I can.
And then, like, especially if you work overtime and stuff, you're not coming home until the sun's down. So maybe you see the sun for 15 minutes out of your day.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
It's so depressing.
Like, the sun's like a big, like, part of people's happiness.
Well,
you know?
It gives you energy,
all those vitamins or whatever. I don't know. Sunny D. Just drink some Sunny D.
Yeah,
Roper.
drink
Stop
some
bitching.
Sunny D, because that's the equivalent.
It is. It has the sun on the bottle.
I don't think it works like that, okay?
Oh, all right. Well, maybe you should take some science classes, Roper.
I failed in science.
Well, see.
I didn't fail, but
I got a D-.
struggled.
That means I'm better.
Yeah. I got a C-.
Fuck.
Fuck you. I like the part where he's like, I'm buried beneath a layer of dust. I'm out on my feet. I'm waking back up. I keep trying to leave. Enough is enough. I'm out on my feet. I'm waking back up. I'm on the brink of defeat. We're totally fucked. I'm out on my feet. I'm waking back up. Cut down at the knees. I'm spitting out blood. I'm out on my feet. I'm getting back up. Because how many times have you just been like, I'm so sick of my routine?
Every fucking day.
But I gotta just get up and get through it, and maybe one day here in the future, everything's just gonna get better, man.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. You know, it's a relatable song, because 10 years ago, Dan's like in his, I want to say, like, mid to late 30s. We're in our mid to late 20s.
I think he's in his early 30s.
Early 30s.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do the math.
He mentioned being 23 in one of the records 10 years ago, so he's probably about 33 to 35.
He's 26 when they wrote
Greatest Generation.
Yeah.
That came out in 2013.
Yeah, and I was 20 then, so he's only 6 years older than me.
Oh, well. Dude, you better fucking step it up, Roper.
I know, I'm fucking up.
No, dude, you're fucking killing it.
Yeah.
No, it's relatable. I mean, I think us it's just like when you're younger, like and you're in high school, you're like super excited to be an adult, right?
Yeah.
And then like there's some fucking harsh realities that coming like from that like turning 18 and graduating until probably like you're in your mid 20s when you have a good understanding of how the world works.
That definitely happened to me. So
the educational system really fucked a lot of people.
Because I feel like a lot of people are like, if you go to school, graduate, then go to college, everything's just going to be...
Yeah, it's going to be fine.
Everything's going to be fine. It's going to work out for you. They don't tell you about finances and like relationships ending and...
Yeah, there's nothing for that but just fucking doing it.
Yeah, you have to find out the hard way. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, some people can't handle it and other people can, but it took me a long time to like get through that.
Yeah, the song's all about like pushing through that shit.
Yes.
And big props to Dan. I love that he like went through his old voice memos and listened to like what his, past self was talking about.
That would be so hard to put yourself in your shoes 10 years ago though. Mm-hmm. Not putting yourself in your mind 10 years ago, just like having to relive all those struggles. It'd be so tough. But
100%. Because they're coming. That almost makes it worse, in my opinion at least.
I think if I look back at myself when I was 18, if I could give myself any messages, just pay attention to your finances and don't worry what everybody else thinks of you.
Get money, fuck bitches.
Yeah.
He's mad. He's mad at me.
I'm not mad at you. I was just not expecting you to say that.
He pulled like the number one disappointed face I've ever seen Roper have on this podcast.
Yeah, get money and get bitches.
There it is.
There we go.
Okay. Any final words on this great song?
Song's fucking great. Yeah, that's all I got.
Killing it, Wonder Years. Super excited to see what you guys have for your next album.
Yes.
Also, if you guys are a big Wonder Years fan, Dan. Actually, I got two things to say. Let me jump back. The song. Clear Eyes Fanzine.
God damn it, you did it again.
I always will. Dan's project with Ace Enders. There is a song called Coming Up for Air, I believe, that if you listen to Out of My Feet and that song, I'm sorry, but they're the same song.
Yeah.
They are the same song. So just a little fun fact for you there. Nothing, I think the Wonder Years like took it and made it something more, which is awesome.
Well, this one's probably going to get a little more exposure.
Oh, it'll get a lot more exposure
than his solo project, but his solo project's great too.
Yeah,
so.
Fucking awesome. But no, Dan's like his actual solo project, not with Ace Enders, as far as I know. Ace will probably record it. That comes out in a couple months. That's what Dan was saying.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I didn't know it was coming out soon. But
yeah, I'm excited to see what it's all about because like his you were mentioning last time we fucking recorded this that his Taylor Swift cover.
His Taylor Swift
was
cover
excellent, and I love it.
Yeah.
I remember when it first came out, and I listened to it over and over again, and then Jamie, my girlfriend, was like fucking sick of it, and I'm like, one more time though.
I've been since I found it earlier this month. I've just been listening to it like every day at least once. It's so good.
It's a fucking great song, man.
Yep.
Well, we have some important shit coming up in the next segment, Roper.
Yes, our interview with Ryan from Goalkeeper.
Yeah, let's fucking hit it.
Yeah.
We're getting stuck in the same old story. We know the end and it's getting boring. I won't let this end badly. I just want you to be happy.
All right, everyone. We have our new friend, Ryan, from the band Goalkeeper. Super excited to have you on. First of all, dude, how you doing, man? Even though I already asked you before we started recording.
Yeah, not bad, man. Just doing a lot of work right now. Just trying to get a lot of work done before the holidays. So, yeah, just looking forward to some holiday break.
Yeah, dude, no, I 100% understand. Like a full-time job on our end, and then we come and do this. So, yeah, we're working nonstop. I'm going to hand you over to Roper for the first question. That sound cool?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, man. So kind of give us a background. What was your introduction into pop punk?
So pop punk in general, the story begins when my dad is on the radio. He's been on the radio in South Jersey, here where I live, for 35 plus years. And he used to also be a party DJ. So I would actually help him at DJ parties every once in a while. And one of the songs that kind of really caught me, well, the first one was the first pop punk album I ever really listened to was Dookie by Green Day.
Nice. Oh, hell yeah.
And ironically enough, the first time I really listened to it, I didn't really like it. I don't know why, but I was like into Disney music back then too. So it's like, I didn't really have much music taste. And then, what really sold me, believe it or not, I was at a DJ party with my dad, and he was doing like a campground, and there was this giant, crowd, probably, 200-300 people there. And they were, all dancing to the music and everything. And at the time, All the Small Things was like the biggest hit in the country. Yeah. And I'll never forget, like literally every single person would get together and sing, "Work sucks." I know. You know what I mean? And like that pretty much like solidified it for me, like in terms of pop punk. And my favorite band's Blink-182. So, and Mark Hoppus is my favorite, singer. So it's like just kind of took off from there. And of course, obviously, I got into Green Day after that too.
It's funny that you say that, because I was listening to your guys' like discography today, and I noticed so many similarities between you guys in Blink-182. Not even just like your voice, but guitar parts as well. So that's pretty sweet, dude.
Yeah, now Blink's a really big influence on us, like very big.
Nice.
Well, dude, I'm gonna take us to the next question, and we kind of want to know, like, what the whole origin behind your band is.
All right, so the origin story of Goalkeeper goes like this. Basically, Cody, me, and Mark were all in like different bands. And we all met kind of through the scene. I met Cody first in his band Hansford at a show. I forget when, but it was like at Studio Lulu or something down here. And then Cody's band started getting booked by Mark because he was also a show promoter in Philly. And Mark used to book the Space Pimps, a.k.a. Eternal Boy. And those were always like fun, awesome shows. So like, Cody ended up passing on a good word to Mark. He booked my band to play. And we ended up playing like a slew of probably like, I don't know, 5 or 6 shows, like pretty much the same lineup of bands, but it was all like super fun pop punk and stuff. And then my band stopped. Cody's band pretty much like broke up, and then Mark's band broke up, and he wanted us to kind of play the next show he had coming up. And so he was like, "Do you guys want to like just get together and do like a cover set?" So we played 7 songs as under the name The Pizzas as our first show. Yeah. And it was like, My Friends Over You, Vindicated by Dashboard Confessional, like all the best, like top cheese, like, pop punk songs. And the crowd loved it. So we were like, all right, well, I guess we'll just, jam and see if it, materializes into anything. And we ended up releasing our first music video in December of 2016 for our song Leftovers. And that ended up kind of solidifying everything for us. With the reaction we got, we weren't expecting, so we just kept churning out music, whatever. And now we're here. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Kind of like perfect timing.
Honestly, yeah, it must be fate. So you guys are going to be doing some pretty damn cool things.
That's what we keep telling ourselves, man.
All right, Roper, hit us.
So how did you guys decide on the name Goalkeeper?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that one of my favorite pieces of advice to tell people who want to start a band is make sure you start a band with members that you can agree on a band name with.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you guys have ever been in bands that, like, somebody's like, no, it's got to be this, or no, I'm not going to play if it's that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. But, like, if you're able to, like, kind of come to an agreement, that's when things are going to go in the right direction. Yeah. But anyway, Goalkeeper was actually my idea because I had thoughts of, well, first of all, pop punk's known for like sporting references. Yeah. So a goalkeeper, I actually got it because I was playing a shitload of FIFA and, did say Goalkeeper 1,000 times. And I'm like, that's kind of a cool name.
Yeah.
And then I was like, there was other bands like that kind of had a similar kind of aesthetic to that. Like, the only one that comes to mind right off the top of my head is like Downpresser, like names like that. And so I was like, that might be a kind of a cool band name. It's not super like dark. And then like on the flip side, at the time I was like super unorganized, didn't really have like much of a life plan. I just got out of college and started doing whatever I could. And so like in a way it kind of helped me reframe my mind because like, keeping goals is essentially how you keep going through life. Right. So it's like, if you're the keeper of your goals and you're probably going somewhere, or at least in the direction you want to go, right?
So it's not only a name, it's just an aesthetic,
Yeah, it's both. It's a sporting name and also has some positive.
Horrible names. I'm sorry for interrupting you. You paused on us.
No, you're good. No, you're good.
Yeah. What were some really horrible band names that came up? And I like the Pizzas, so don't say that one.
Yeah. Well, no, the Pizzas is a classic. Although we heard through the grapevine that the Pizzas actually are a backing band, and they sue anybody who actually tries to be the Pizzas.
Oh, they sound like nice guys.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I that's just what I heard. But I can't think of it. We really didn't have. Oh, you know what? We tried to do like the whole like street name or like neighborhood name thing, like because like Mark's old band was called Crestview, and like pretty generic pop punk name, and so we were like, okay, like one name that I think we thought of was Oak Hill. But then, like, we found out that there was a band from Canada that had that, and so we were like, okay, no. And then, like, I don't know. We just came up with a bunch of, like, Maple Grove. It's like shit like that. Like, stupid, variations of, like, cul-de-sac names. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much where. But, like, once I said Goalkeeper, everybody was like, yeah, that sounds right. And there was no more, talk about it. And that's why I was saying, like, find yourself people that you can just agree on a band name with, because, like, that shit's invaluable, I think.
Yeah, when I was in a band that we never even played a single show, but we fought about the name forever. And one of my friends he had talks about going on tour, right? So I was like, dude, you should let us open for you. And then he was like, no, I'm going to be the opener. And I'm like, okay, then we'll be the pre-openers. And then my buddy wouldn't let it go. So we were known as the pre-openers forever. I'm glad that band died.
That's kind of a funny name in that context.
Yeah, I like it. I just think that anytime I was thinking, like, all right, what if one day we were big, in my wildest fantasies, and they're like, and the headlining band is the pre-openers. But I thought it'd be funny if we actually came on before the openers did every time.
Yeah.
And played a song.
Yeah, like you started the show.
Yeah. But that was
that'd be funny.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting band story. But
one other band name, if I'll just put it out there, my dad actually came up with this one. He might have saw it on the internet somewhere, but he said we should be called Free Beer Till 10. And so, like, then anybody advertising your band's show, it says Free Beer Till 10, and hopefully you get some people who want that.
Yeah, you're just gonna.
Although it'd be funny if although it'd be kind of funny if that, like, a band called that got huge, because then, say you're headlining like Firefly or something, or Coachella, and the headliner's Free Beer Till 10. That'd be kind of funny.
Damn, dude. I got this. So I'm a writer for songs as well, and I'm super curious, like, what your writing process is for the majority of your music.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of it. So first of all, we do a lot of combined writing, but usually how it works out is, like, I'll doodle on stuff at home. Cody will doodle stuff at home. He's the drummer, and we'll try to. Like, we're the two main songwriters, and so what we'll do is we'll bring our ideas together at practice, or like they'll come down to my house or whatever, and we'll like work on them together. And that balance has kind of really worked out well. More recently, we've been doing a lot more at the practice space, just kind of in the moment. That's actually sort of how Sunshine came about. Like, Sunshine, I had like the lyrics and everything for it, but like, the way that song just kind of came together, it was just clicking. You know what I mean? Like it was so smooth, and so like that's kind of another way we kind of judge like, is this a good song idea or not? Because when we bring it to the table together, if we're not vibing on it together, and it's like not necessarily an instant success, but like if we're not like instantly on it, we're kind of like, okay, put that on the back burner. We'll, maybe pick ideas from that later, So, but it's definitely very collaborative. Like me and Cody certainly try to, have dual roles in it. So
yeah, I was super big fans of that song and Happy, and something that I haven't heard you talk much about, the song, and this is a while back, but like Screwdriver. Yeah, I just dig that one so much, and I'm just surprised it's not like on the top of your songs. How did that one come about?
Screwdriver, man, that one. So, a little context, like that was supposed to be the fourth song on Gut Feeling, which was our first EP. But we had some issues with the studio that we were going to, so we ended up like actually working on it with Nick and Ace from the Lumberyard.
Man,
yeah,
huge fans.
And yeah, they're awesome. And so that one came about mostly because like when I wrote it, I was at my house and I was drinking too much, or my parents' house, I was drinking too much, and I just kind of came to a realization. I was like, oh man, like this kind of sucks, But like I actually I think the way that line kind of came about was from Invader Zim.
Ooh,
okay. That thing. He's like, I have a pencil lodged in my brain. Can I go to the nurse? Yeah, like that line I thought was kind of funny. So I kind of did the same thing with Screwdriver.
I was curious.
And then we worked on it at the practice space, and then we've cut it at the Lumberyard. And frankly, I don't know why it's not bigger. I mean, it's a lot of fun to play live. Like a lot of our core fans, especially in the Philadelphia area, who like kind of came up with us watching shows and stuff. They really like it, but it just never caught on, in a big way anywhere else. But I'd like to see that one go up a little. That one's close to my heart, I think. I just love that song. It's a bop.
I felt it like as soon as, so I listened from start to finish, like your first is Gut Feeling, right? And then as I'm listening and Screwdriver comes on and I'm like, ooh, this is fucking tight. And I go and look at your top songs. I'm like, how is this not like at least number 3? I thought it was such a missed opportunity because I think singles are kind of harder to push. Mainly, and that's my guess as to why. I'm glad it has popularity in your main Philly area.
Yeah, I will say I think in terms of the Gut Feeling songs, it might be the third most streamed out of 4. But like Leftovers and Pong Partners were certainly a much bigger like in terms of like success in the moment. We must have messed up the launch or something for Screwdriver.
Yeah.
Like it definitely deserves more love, that's for sure.
Did you, when you first started writing like Gut Feeling, did you go into it thinking this is going to be a pop punk song? Because it clearly is, right? But was that your main goal? This is a pop punk song, or did you just write and kind of it ended up that way?
So Gut Feeling was like a collection of songs we all had at the moment. Like we didn't really do a lot of songwriting together. It was like I brought Screwdriver, Leftovers, and Forgive Me to the table, and Cody brought Pong Partners to the table, and then we just kind of worked on it there. But I think in terms of like writing it to be a pop punk song, I never really wanted to write anything else at that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was all in on pop punk, and I always wanted to be in a pop punk band. The band that I was in previous to Goalkeeper was a pop punk band, and so I've just always loved pop punk. It's been my number one genre since I don't know, since I was like 7 or 8, whenever Enema of the State came out, pretty much. So yeah, like in terms of like writing it to be a pop punk song, everything has like I'd say a base of pop punk, but then like especially in the later records, you get like a little hint of this, a little hint of that kind of breaks it out a little bit. But like we're definitely a pop punk band, like a core. That's our core.
Yeah, that's what we fucking like to hear, man.
Absolutely.
Roper, hit us with the next big one.
Let me pull it up.
Oh, I guess I'll just sit
I
here.
got it. Give me that.
Come on, Roper. What are you doing here?
Constantly fucking up. So have you guys toured much?
We were.
Yeah, well,
trying to.
Dude, that was such a dumb question. I'm so sorry.
No. That's not a dumb question. Honestly, like we had done. Let's see. We were gearing up to that. This year would have been like the most touring we ever did. One. I think we were shooting for about 100 shows, like all together. And we had tours planned. We were supposed to play Fest. We were supposed to play with like Bowling for Soup. We were supposed to play with like a lot of bands.
Damn, dude.
And have a lot of like opportunity. But, again, with COVID, kind of everything got pushed back. But certainly touring is something we want to get back to.
Yeah.
But in terms of the touring we've done a handful of weekenders. We've done like 2 like 10 to 12 day tours, I think.
Okay.
We did one with Gold Route, who highly recommend you check out if you haven't already. I freaking love those guys.
They're awesome.
Yeah, Gold Route. If you like the story so far and just like that vibey, like,
Roper's huge.
dude, it's. I can't like. I listen to them probably once a week at least, just because I just love their jams.
Yeah.
And seeing them live every week was awesome, or every day was awesome too on tour. And then we also toured with Bloom, who again is another fantastic band, especially live.
Does Bloom reference the Wonder Years on their newest record? Is that who I'm thinking is? I feel like their name is Bloom.
No, Bloom features a former member of Transit.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that's how you're getting it. Yeah, Tori. He's the guitarist. But they're amazingly talented too, and they were a lot of fun to tour around with and stuff.
Yeah, so when Roper was like, "Do you guys tour much?" that wasn't the question we wrote down.
Well, no, I was leading into a follow-up question after that.
Yeah.
So what are some of your like best and possibly worst like tour experiences?
Okay. Best tour experience. Well, number one, meeting fans in places that I didn't think that we were reaching people. Like for example, we played a 3-day run with Eternal Boy in Ohio and West Virginia, and we had 2 fans drive out from North Carolina to see us in Dayton, I think it was.
Dude, nice.
So, and that was like an 8-hour drive or something like that. So like that was really cool. There was another fan who like flew from Kansas to see us in Brooklyn. She was there for other reasons, like she was doing other stuff, but she kind of, planned the trip because we were playing in that date. And so that was really cool, because like, who the fuck listens to my band? I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like,
people,
but like, it's great. It's great to actually see them in person. You know what I mean? But like, in terms of like fun memory, the Bloom tour in Connecticut, it was a very rough show. I mean, not many people showed up. It was like a Wednesday. But then after that, we ended up partying, and we went to like Mark's friend's house, and we had a great time drinking there. We were like drinking out by a fire, and then we came back, and it was just an overall like really fucking fun and like wild time. Worst tour experience, hands down, is anytime Mark drives at night. Like, I'm not a good like passenger, I'll be honest. So, but like one of Mark's things, like, probably I thought I was going to die the one time. It was, we had a show in North Carolina, and then the next day we were playing in Philly, and we're from Philly. So we drove all the way to North Carolina to play a show. And then we had a show booked the next day at a bigger venue in Philly, opening up for Real Friends. And so Mark wanted to get home like as soon as possible. So we basically did an overnight drive to then sleep in basically right up until the show for the most part. And Mark, so we have a van that's like a 1999 Dodge Beater van. It's like this, it's a monster. Her name's Goalkeeper. But like, she's seen some miles. She's not like, there's a lot of wonky things with her. And he's driving this thing like up 95 going like 60 miles an hour, 65. I think the speed limit's 65.
Yeah.
And he's in the middle lane, Meanwhile, there's like tractor trailers driving, like whizzing by my head, going like 75 miles an hour, and he's watching like Netflix on like the dashboard with his AirPods on, and like what it was like he kept drifting to one side, and then a tractor trailer would whiz by I'm in the passenger seat. The tractor trailer would whiz by my window, and he'd like jerk the wheel, and so like I'd wake up, look out, see like these tractor trailer headlights like flying by me, and I was just like, God damn it, I can't wait to be on solid ground. You know what I mean?
Wait, do you know like what show he was watching on Netflix? I want to know if it's worth it.
It was probably a comedy special. He likes comedy specials a lot.
But you can listen to comedy specials.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm razzing him a little bit. He was watching it though. I disagree with that. But like, you know, he was like, well, it's gonna keep me up, and you know, and he really wanted to see his wife and his dogs and stuff. So I trusted him to stay up and stuff. But it was just one of those things that I was like, like maybe we do this a little differently.
He kept his promise.
And it was really after that show. Yeah, it was really after that show where we decided that like, you know, if we're going to be touring this much and driving this many miles, we got to figure out a way to do it like not all at night. You know what I mean? Because that's a big deal. Yeah. Like, I mean, you might be able to, you know, shave off a few hours because there's less traffic and stuff, but like, you know, it's much more dangerous, especially after you played a show and you're exhausted and you've been in the van all day and shit like that. Like, it's definitely better to kind of like plan your tour routes to like be within 4 to 6 hours of each other. This way you could do like maybe 2 hours after and then break, and then, you know, it's not that far. You know what I mean? So they did help.
Yeah, I feel you there, man. Well, all right, we got another big one here. What are some of your goals for Goalkeeper and any other projects you guys might have in the works?
Goals for Goalkeeper, like our biggest goal, like the one that we kind of said initially, was we'd love to play Lincoln Financial Field, which is like the Eagles Stadium in Philly.
Oh, cool.
Like that would be the coolest, like, or sell out, you know, the Lincoln Financial, like that would be probably our top goal. And then in terms of like, you know, stuff in the works, like we just released the new album, Life in Slow Motion. Love it. Glad you guys are streaming it. Mm-hmm. And right now our focus is kind of making sure we promote that as much as we can. But, you know, because we can't tour, you know, we're definitely starting the writing process again. And we are looking forward to releasing more music in the future. I just don't know how that's going to look depending on, you know, what happens. So, but we are writing. We're working on stuff. So, and I'm pretty stoked on the stuff we're working on. So
that's cool, man.
Do you have like a strategic way to release music? Like, because I know most bands will wait until they're ready for a tour, then they'll drop an album, and then they'll go on tour off that album. But with COVID, you know, super hard to do that. We don't really know when it's ending, so a lot of bands are really scared to release like a full record. You know, do you guys have like a strategy behind that, or?
So really, at least with this new record, we tried some new things out. So we're really big on music videos. We have 10 of them already, so check them out on YouTube.
There we go.
Having a music video, we kind of base it around music videos. So what we do is we kind of say like, okay, these are going to be the singles. And what we did to release the record, we said, okay, you know, Happy is probably the strongest overall song, so we're going to release that one first. Then, you know, we're going to do Just Say It, and then, you know, Graveyard will release with the album. And what we did was we kind of planned like, okay, let's get these videos done. And then what we kind of did was we gave each video and like single about a month of like playtime before we went on to the next one. I'm thinking now like maybe giving it a little more time. But like it also just depends on what your release schedule, like when your goal is to, you know, release a record. So, you know, and what you're, you know, capable of. But like, I guess like in terms of like actionable things that you can do, I think like just like making sure you just get as much content out of like your music video and your music and stuff. Like I think it's important in today's day and age, whether there's COVID or not, to be thinking about how can you generate content pretty much at any point of the day or any point of like your process. So like we're considering having, you know, a photographer come in and take pictures with us at the studio. You know, doing like tour videos, doing like all this kind of stuff, like all the stuff that you're doing already. How can you extract content that you can share with people online? And I think that's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, I think the two most important things are how active are you on social media and what kind of quality content are you putting out on a regular basis, plus how much music are you putting out? Because I also think like that's one thing that I think kind of got lost in COVID, because everybody was like, oh my God, like, you know, we can't play shows. What are we going to do? So like, okay, we'll start a YouTube channel, or we'll start a podcast, or we'll start this or start that, you know? And it's like, as much as that stuff's good, if it takes you too much away from the music, then are you a podcast now, or are you like a band?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, yeah, and definitely straddling that line. There are bands that do a really good job of straddling that line, you know, or like you do like the Seth Henderson from Silverstein, lead singer Syndrome.
Shane Told,
my bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm getting it mixed up with somebody else. Anyway, like it's like his podcast, right? And like it's not Silverstein's, right? And maybe that's how you organize it. But certainly making sure like your music coming out is like the big focus, because at the end of the day, I still think like, you know, like why are you in a band if you're not releasing music, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally feel that.
And that's something you can always go back to. A lot of podcasts, personally, I can't go back to and listen to episodes over and over again, but you can always go back and listen to those songs and stuff. So
yeah, songs are, you know, you're constantly, I mean, if anyone's like me, I listen to the same song 40 times before.
Absolutely.
You know, that's just how I've always been. And I know you guys don't make a ton of money from streaming. Doing some research on that. So it's like how, I guess this leads to a pretty good question. So when your guys' main source of income is touring, I'm assuming, right? And probably merch sales, and merch sales like go hand in hand with touring. How are you guys like staying afloat? Are you guys just doing work on the side? Like what's the main plan there?
Yeah, so really it's just about being extremely open and honest with your expectations with the band, and then also being extremely specific about what costs are necessary, right? So like for us recently, we've been trying to figure out a way that Goalkeeper can essentially pay for itself. So like we don't have to necessarily like, you know, pay for studio time, or we don't have to pay necessarily to buy a new order of merch or something like that. We're not at that point, I can tell you that for a fact. But like really what it is like, you know, we try to be more conscious of what money we're spending and then how that money is going to benefit us in the future. So for example, you know, if we spend, you know, $600 on a you know, a set of t-shirts, you know, we try to price it reasonably, but then also know like, okay, whatever money we make from this is going to go towards this, or it's going to help subsidize this. So instead of recording costs being, you know, 100%, we're only putting 10% in, you know, because the band made the rest of it. And obviously like touring is a huge part of it. Like if we were touring, you know, that'd be great, but like, unfortunately that's not a thing. So we've just tried to double down on our online advertising, you know, making sure that like anything we post is high quality. You know, one thing a lot of local bands and like bands that are trying to make it should do is look at like a lot of the photographers and video people in your scene and actually consider paying them, you know, whatever you can to have them shoot product shots for you, or promo shots or model shots. And like, that kind of stuff, like that quality just goes up way more than like, hey, selfie at the practice space. Like sometimes that's good, you know what I mean? But like if you're doing it on Jim's, you know, flip phone, like it's not going to necessarily be like, you know, the best quality. So it's like you gotta, I think, invest, like making sure that, you know, being conscious of what you're investing in and how that's going to benefit you. Like say like beeper broke down, we had to get a new van. If we say, okay, like, you know, this is how much each of us can spend and it's going to go towards a new van, which is going to help us tour and ultimately make more money, and hopefully then, make enough money that we don't have to, like touring, that we won't have to actually put in any of our money into the band. You know what I mean? So, but right now, it's just like, it's like we just kind of are very intentional with what we do, especially with our own money. So, but we're definitely spending a lot of our own money on it.
We all too well on this end
absolutely.
too. Podcast, we probably put hundreds of dollars into this, and my music project, which I expect to get no money out of, I put by the time I'm done, I'll put $4,000 into it. It's
right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Ryan, we like to do something pretty cool in the podcast, so you probably heard a lot of these questions before, but we like to do the lightning round.
Lightning round.
We got some fun questions for you, man. Roper, hit us off.
All right. If you could front any band, who should it be?
Who should it be?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Or would.
I'm just going to be obvious here and say Blink. I mean, I more because I think I would do a great Mark Hoppus, and I can do a Tom DeLonge. That's my go-to karaoke song is "I Miss You." I do both of them.
Oh,
let's hear your Tom DeLonge really quick.
Yeah, I want to hear something.
Oh, you just gotta you just gotta overemphasize the extra syllables he puts at the end of shit. How are you? You just gotta kind of, it's an entertainment thing. Oh, I'm so sorry. That shit.
Sorry, I'm pretty stuck on that. All right, Ryan, who is your celebrity crush?
Oh, man. Celebrity crush would be probably... I don't know. I really love Jetty Bones. She's amazing. Her music and just everything she's doing is fucking awesome. She's awesome.
I saw her play once here in Des Moines and I fell in love right away. So
yeah, yeah. No, she's awesome. So probably Jetty Bones.
Have you gotten the chance to meet her or?
No, not yet. Hopefully one day. That'd be cool. I want to tell her how much she's awesome. Her new song's really dope, too. I don't know if you guys heard that or not.
I haven't heard it yet.
I think I heard a little bit of it the other day, but I'm definitely going to go back to it because she's great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, if you had to own any exotic animal, what would it be?
I think it'd be cool to... I mean, I don't know if it's exotic enough, but a bear would be cool.
That's not domesticated, so I would.
Right, yeah.
That's what the question should have been.
Right,
but I was like, what is it? I was writing that question today, and I was like, just fuck it. Put exotic. Something cool come out of it.
The first thing I thought of was an anaconda, but I don't know if I'd want an anaconda, I'd rather just have a bear, just oh shit, that's a bear,
Dude, you gotta haul that everywhere. I just want a fucking penguin I could put.
Yeah, there you go.
Right here. Yeah.
Like a football.
I wouldn't throw it, I promise.
Right.
All right. What's a song that your band will never ever cover?
99 Red Balloons.
Oh.
Oh no! Wait. Sorry. Oh my God! I can't believe I forgot the name. That song Lit does.
My Own Worst Enemy.
Yeah. Fuck that song. We're never gonna do that song.
I really like that song, Roper.
No, I mean it's fine. That's fine for you, but for us, not our jam.
Yeah, no, I don't plan on covering either. But if I hear it on the radio, I'm singing it.
Yeah, fair.
What's the happiest moment in Goalkeeper's career?
Being on this podcast, Roper.
Definitely being on this podcast. Probably when Bad Times Don't Last hit 1 million streams.
Dude,
yeah.
I love the name of that album.
Yeah.
Where'd you guys come up with that?
So Bad Times Don't Last was I bought a shirt that said it had a skeleton on it and it said Bad Times Don't Last, Nothing Does. And I thought that was a really cool words to live by. And so on the way back from recording Bad Times Don't Last, we were actually thinking about all right, well now that everything's kind of tracked and we're listening to a lot of the demo stuff, what should it be called? And we threw around a lot of different stuff, but Bad Times Don't Last just seemed to linger around. And I don't regret. I think that's I love that album, like everything about it, like the album art, the name, all the songs on it. Like I just felt like it just all kind of came together with that one. So, but yeah, my shirt. The artist who made the shirt, by the way, his name is Fuck You Baker on Instagram. He's really awesome. He does a lot of like crazy like designs, so definitely check him out.
Oh, I will for sure.
Yeah, me too, dude. All right, I didn't write this because I know nothing about Marvel, but who is the worst member of the Avengers?
Oh man, I'm not really sure. I really only know the Avengers through like the few movies I've seen. I don't really get what's his name? The bow and arrow guy.
Oh, Hawkeye.
He's kind of whatever.
You got the Marvel nerd right here.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. He's probably the lightning round. He's probably the top one. I don't know. He's not that cool.
He practiced really hard.
Good choice.
Yeah. I like the actor, the character himself, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, the character's kind of weak, but all right. But who is your go-to Mario Kart character?
Wario.
Nice.
Oh, okay. That was a quick one too. Not even a thought.
Yeah. I don't know what it was either. I just feel like I'd slay with Wario. So.
Yeah, and he's fucking. I don't know. I dig his character overall. Okay, here's another question I didn't write. Who would win in a fight, Colonel Sanders or Dave from Wendy's? And I looked at Roper and I was like, who's Dave from Wendy's?
Oh, it's definitely Dave from Wendy's.
Oh, but he knows.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Hey, if you want some good PR, definitely talk up Wendy's. Their tweets are killing it right now.
And they were like really into pop punk. Did you see that?
Dude, that was crazy. Whoever's running that account is like just like you and me. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think aliens exist?
Yes.
Ooh,
and Tom DeLonge fucking found them. Everybody laughed at Tom DeLonge when he left Blink to go look for aliens, and he fucking found them. I'm just saying.
I think he's making a movie too.
Oh, is he making a movie about it? I watched.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I said it first.
Oh, my bad. Okay, so like, I lost my train of thought already. Sorry. Fuck. No, I'm sorry, guys.
Good.
Don't smoke pot, kids.
I watched Mr. DeLonge on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
And of course, Joe is like all about the aliens, so he asked him questions about that. And then I kind of so he gave some information. He has this certain company that like kind of deals in this stuff, and I was like on their website, super professional, all this stuff like that. And it's interesting because in the interview he mentioned that the reason why I don't know if it was the government specifically, but whoever had this information was going to give it to Tom DeLonge was because he knew how to talk to people. Like he was the frontman of a band, so people would listen to him and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of sitting here thinking to myself that if I had all of this information, right? All this information, and I had the ability to give it to somebody who was going to distribute it to the world, I don't think I would go to Tom DeLonge.
No, but Tom DeLonge put himself in that position to be that guy.
No, yeah, he's all about it.
Because I agree. I didn't really take Tom DeLonge all that seriously while he was in Blink, and then because I was a big Mark Hoppus fan, and I think since he left Blink 182, he's actually kind of impressed me a lot more, and especially like as Blink gets older, as I get older, I kind of realize like, damn, he was like the punk to like the pop punk part of Blink, and not only that, like he was like amazingly focused on aliens like for a long period of time. So it's like, if anybody were to do it, I mean, I'm glad he did it. I'm just glad that like he managed to figure out a way to do that because no one took him seriously when he left, and now it seems like, nah, he's the real deal, You know what I mean? But then, did you watch the Travis Barker one? It was like right after that. A few weeks. He lit like Joe Rogan was like, I don't know, he's a little fucking crazy. And Travis was like, oh yeah, no, he's fucking crazy.
I think he said something like, one time Tom showed me this video of like what was clearly a fake UFO, and he was like, look at this, man, can you believe it? And then Travis is like, oh yeah, man, you know?
Right, exactly.
It makes me think like, I put a lot of trust in it. I don't see why he would go through all of this trouble and like scrutiny to be lying. You know,
right?
They say they found like alien hardware craft or something like that they've been waiting to release the full thing about. I'm fucking stoked for it. But
I also just subscribe to the theory of like this universe is so big, like there's got to be somebody else. You know what I mean? Like we can't be the only people. You know,
I'm hoping that like we're not just there's like who said it? Stephen Hawking said that they had like the Columbus theory where if we were found by aliens, they would come and just fucking demolish us like a anthill, which is scary,
just repurpose the Earth.
There's worse ways to die.
Yeah.
So this one will be an even easier one for you. Tom DeLonge or Matt Skiba?
Oh, Tom DeLonge.
Yep, instant.
That's I mean, I love Matt Skiba, but in Alkaline Trio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
I feel you.
It kind of like if you see them play live now. I mean, not right now during the pandemic, but just like once they came out with their most recent stuff, he fits live. But if you listen to their recorded stuff, in my opinion, it doesn't sound nearly what I want from Blink-182, but I'm kind of a Blink snob as well. So,
what do you think about their newest record?
Generally, I like all the new stuff, especially like with Skiba. I think some of it's a little canned like pop. Like you can definitely tell like they're trying to become like top of the music scene again, but like. I just feel like a lot of the music is a little hollow, a little bit. You know what I mean? It just doesn't grab me like the old stuff. And I don't know if it's necessarily like old stuff versus new stuff. I think they're just older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I like a lot of what's going on though, and I also I generally like what they're doing outside of Blink, especially what Travis is doing. Like with Machine Gun Kelly and like a lot of these like up and coming like emo, trap, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't listen. I don't listen to Lil Peep on the reg or anything, but I definitely think I listened to it enough that I kind of saw their influence is still extremely strong. Especially in like this, that emo trap kind of genre that's happening right now. So I'd like to see them just keep putting out music and hopefully something really kicks. I like a lot of it. There's some new stuff that I really like Sober. I thought that was a really great song. There was one off the new record that I'm blanking on, but of course that is exactly what I'm talking about. It's I can't even think of the name of the song. You know what I mean?
Was it Dark Side?
No. Oh, Hung Over You. I thought that was a really strong song.
Yeah, with Dark Side, they released that music video that got shit on like no other, and I mean I think it deserved it personally.
That song is good. That video completely turned me off from it.
Yeah,
And again, going back to they're trying to get pushed back into pop culture again. They just had a bunch of tweens doing TikTok dances, and it just didn't vibe at all with the song. You know what I mean? It just didn't make any sense. But this is what it is.
I know. I have a lot of mixed feelings on New Blink. I love a lot of songs. I hate a lot of others, and I think it's they're kind of at the point where their popularity is almost what's hindering the band, in my opinion. It's like they really can't win. They either change their sound and people get mad, or they stay the same and then people get bored.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens when a band gets really big.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I also just think they don't really have a lot to write about. I mean, they're all super successful, and what kind of hardship? I mean, and they're all happily married, you know what I mean? They're not breaking up with their girlfriends and stuff. So what is there to write about? Like that really adds that like element of realism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So plus I really believe that like the music that's coming out now is, you know, Mark, Travis, and Matt, and not necessarily Blink-182. You know what I mean? Like I think Tom's influence, if Tom ever does rejoin Blink, I think that'll help. Because this summer I actually had a chance to really dive back into Blink, because I always audit my music taste. I'm like, is Blink still my favorite band? And then I'll listen to like the whole discography of it, like, oh yeah, hell yeah. But like, you know, like Neighborhoods, which I believe was the last album that they did together.
Yeah.
One of my top 3 Blink songs is on that album, After Midnight. You know, like absolutely banger song. And the album itself really isn't that bad. I think they're like, just if you lived in that moment when it came out, you just weren't excited for it because of all the bullshit that was kind of surrounding it at the time. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking if like Tom were to rejoin Blink and it would be, you know, Mark, Tom, and Travis again, I think that there would be more potential, especially with the music that Tom's been releasing with Angels and Airwaves. You know, I haven't been following it super tightly, but like the one song Rebel Girl, I thought was like friggin' fantastic.
Yeah,
and so it's just like, yeah. So, and like, I have a lot of friends who say Angels and Airwaves has been like absolutely crushing it. So it's like, maybe he is the missing link to kind of put the pieces together, you know, and I don't necessarily think it's all Mark, like, or all Tom, you know, like that's kind of the way it is with Goalkeeper. It's like, you know, if Cody were to leave the band and it would just be me and Mark, like Goalkeeper would sound completely different. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be Goalkeeper to me. You know, same thing if Mark left and it was just me and Cody, like it might be similar to what Goalkeeper is, but it's not the same because we don't have Mark's like sweeping rhythm guitars and you know, stuff like that. Like he's really good with like chords and stuff like that. So, you know, he really adds an element too. So I think that's what it is. It's like, this new Blink stuff, it's like 2/3 Blink, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes, and it's all one big puzzle piece, honestly, when
Yeah.
it comes down to it. I got one more question before we let you go, but since you're from PA, what is your
I'm from New
favorite
Jersey.
PA band? Oh, shit, I just fucked up.
No, but it's
you're based out of PA.
So it's weird. I live in like South Jersey, which is like Atlantic City area. Cody lives in Salem, New Jersey, which is like an hour away. It's like, I don't know if you're familiar with the Delaware Memorial Bridge, but it's like around that area. And then Mark lives in Delco, which is outside of Philly. So our base is Philly. Our base is Philly, but like we all kind of live in that area.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And technically South Jersey might as well be Philly because we're all Philly fans and everybody from up that way vacations here. So it's like, you know, we're basically Philly.
Well, all right, so now I got 2 questions. What's your favorite PA-based band? What's your favorite New Jersey-based band?
Favorite PA-based band right now would be the Menzingers.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. They're my second favorite band of all time. I love them.
Actually, same. My second favorite band.
Really? Yeah.
Behind the Wonder Years, which is another PA band.
Yeah, dude. The Wonder Years. They're fun. They would be like, you know, neck and neck for me in terms of PA bands. And then in terms of New Jersey bands, let's think. There's so many of them. I'm trying to think. I know I'm probably gonna like mess it up, but like, oh god, I'm blanking on it right now. Believe it or not,
I can't even think of a New Jersey band right now.
There are New Jersey bands. It's just like a lot of them are emo. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And like, not that that's a bad thing, but I don't necessarily live in that realm. Like, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think Brand New and Taking Back Sunday are both from New Jersey. One might be from Long Island. I'm not 100% sure. But that's the whole thing. It's like sometimes they get blurred with New York bands and shit, or like they get blurred with Philly bands.
Close together.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I got one that's like more lower, in terms of popularity, but like they're still a fucking amazing band. Dry Jacket.
Oh, I know Dry Jacket.
Yeah, Dry Jacket. They're awesome, and they're from like the outside of Philly area. So probably Dry Jacket. Well, for this answer.
Oh yeah, dude.
Nice.
All right. Well, I think that's all our questions.
Yeah.
Do you want we're gonna give you some time to promote anything you want. And 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to the podcast. You can check out my band's. You can check out Goalkeeper's music on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. We're on all that. You can also check out our music videos on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. We have 10 music videos on that, so check that out. As you know, follow us on social media for updates. And if you're on Twitter, follow us on Twitter, and you get to talk to Cody directly because he pretty much exclusively does Twitter.
So that works for us.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
But yeah,
well,
thank you so much for having me on the show.
No, thank you, dude.
Yeah,
You're the one that took time out of your day. We're just here wanting to talk about pop punk.
Yeah. No, I love talking about. Like I told you before, I'm really talkative, so sometimes I go on rants and shit. And I appreciate I appreciate the opportunity to be on here and talk about pop punk because I love everything pop punk. You know what I mean? So
yeah. So do we, dude. All right. Well, thanks again, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I woke up with some stitches in my head and I don't know how they got there. Intuition tells me that it had something to do with all the shots that I poured and the friends that I scared when I slipped and fell down.
And we're back. Hey-o. What do you think about that interview, Hunter?
Ryan is such a fucking cool dude. He looks like a grizzly bear, and then you talk to him, and he's like the nicest fucking guy.
He was so cool, so nice, and it's so awesome that like it's very rare that where we're at in Des Moines, where you find somebody who will get into the nitty gritty of pop punk, Ryan did with us, and it was just awesome to hear someone else's perspective that you don't normally like talk to or have never talked to before. So I really enjoyed that aspect of the interview, and I always like hearing a good origin story too.
Yeah, he gave us a lot of insight on the band, what they're going into, and I'm excited to. It sucks to hear that all those shows that he talks about got canceled. Actually, funny that I mentioned that, Roper, because I'm not sure if that was in the actual interview on the podcast. But what I will say is I recorded the whole Zoom call with him.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put that up on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
We'll link that in the description. If you guys want to check it out, it's probably like an extra 20-30 minutes of content with Ryan.
Yeah, we just kind of shoot the shit after.
Yeah, it's more personal to us.
Yeah.
And but if you're super into the band like you should be, I think it's worth a listen.
Yeah, and if you're like someone like me, I always want to hear like more. I always want more content. So
here's your fucking chance, guys.
Here you guys go.
Please give it a whirl. But now that we're done, kind of reflecting and giving you the information that there is more content there, let's fucking jump on to the album of the week.
Album of the week.
I fucking love when you do that. Okay. All right.
Sometimes like I get nervous and I don't like know what to say, so I just repeat what everybody else says. I had that realization the other day. Like, man, I really wish I could break that habit, but I just can't.
It's like your mom and dad come to you, and your dad's like, "Son, we love you, but we're getting a divorce." And then you're like, "We're getting a divorce."
Just like, we're getting a divorce. No.
Oh. Each week, we showcase an album that is near and dear to our hearts, or we just kind of dig it, Roper.
Yeah.
We just kind of fucking dig it. And this week is an album that's near and dear to my heart. And that album is Things Don't Wash Out by the great band You, Me, and Everyone We Know.
Now, I want to say before we get into this discussion that this album was brought to me on Monday. I had kind of, but not really, heard a lot of You, Me, and Everybody, or You, Me, and Everyone We Know. So I'm not the expert on this album.
But I am.
But Hunter is.
And previously mentioned, I got to have like an hour-long phone call with Ben, the lead singer.
Yeah.
And kind of like the last person that's kept this project going.
Yeah.
Super kind dude, had nothing. He really filled us in on a lot of things. So while we're going through this track list, Ben's going to jump in with a little bit of know-how that we're going to talk about. So let's get into the first song. Roper, this song's called Shock and Awe.
Ooh.
This is shock, this is all, this is war.
Now, going into the whole talk with Ben, I figured what would be best is if I played the voice clip first, and then we can kind of go with it. So we're gonna play Shock and Awe.
Nice.
Richard Raines at the time, he had been, not the friendliest dude post firing him. He had said a lot of
manager, right?
Yeah, he was managing the band for a bit. Yeah, we met with Richard Raines, and it was like, oh, that guy's like Drive Through Records, And I was like, whatever you guys want to do, I don't know. I'm just here singing, writing about how I hate myself, and like I'm not in a good place right now. Like, just surviving on the road, man. Like, I'm just singing, like I'm fucking busking, basically. Yeah, Richard wasn't a very friendly dude to me, but yeah.
And then you also mentioned Cody Payne. Was that the guy from The Dangerous Summer?
Yeah, so Cody was in The Dangerous Summer for a while. He was so we had a merch deal that went bad essentially. He failed to send out as far as I know, he never sent out like a bunch of shirts that were ordered, sort of like kept the money. But like in that subsequent time, I mean, being like, hey man, did you send those out yet? Did you send those out yet? You know what I mean? You often like continue working with people before you realize they're sort of dicking you over. He had like done a merch order for me. He was trying to start a t-shirt company. And we owed him money for that merch order. And I was like, well, if you didn't send those shirts out, I'm not going to pay you for this order. Yeah. And so he got heated about that. And then I was like, fuck it. Like, this is my bye-bye EP. Say what I want. I reached out to The Dangerous Summer. Yeah. I reached out to them as a band. I was like, I have no qualms with you. Like anybody involved with your band other than Cody. I just want you to know that. I'm talking about Cody specifically. This has nothing to do with you. But they still got pretty heated.
So Ben really fucking dug into this song. Gave a lot of backstory. This song really comes off as a big fuck you. And
absolutely.
I think that's why it's so impactful to me. I love it.
It was the best way to start this record because it's just like a declaration and a fuck you. Like a declaration of war. He even says it in the song. And I had no clue like any of the behind the scenes on this until like I kind of started like looking into the lyrics of this song. Yeah. But I had no clue that like he was talking about Cody Payne from The Dangerous Summer.
I think, I didn't know it till I was reading the lyrics, and then Payne was spelled P-A-Y-N, and I was like, that's interesting. Yeah. So I did a deep dive before I even talked to Ben. And so this is kind of what I wrote down. I said, this is incredibly interesting, but the song seems to be focused behind two people, Richard Raines and Cody Payne. And Richard Raines was the co-founder of Drive Through Records, like Ben previously mentioned. Yeah. He offered to manage the band, and some shit went down. Basically, he probably gets more into this later, but a lot has to do with his weight at the time. Yeah. And when you're trying to like be this giant band, like if you listen to this record's a hit.
Yeah, front to back.
Front to fucking back, it's great. And so when discussing with Richard Raines about like trying to move this band forward, basically he just complained about his weight the whole time, which is such a fucked up thing to do.
It's stupid, and it's like if you look at the genre of music that these guys are technically categorized in, it's punk music, and who the fuck in punk music gives a shit on how much you weigh or what you look like?
That's not punk.
Yeah, and like for him to be like a co-founder of one of the biggest like record companies at that time for punk music, it's like, why the fuck are you even in this business, dude?
Exactly.
Like, you have the wrong attitude for it, and just kind of goes to show how much has changed within the last 10 years within the music business and like the scene now. Everybody is so uplifting towards each other. Like, why would it just blows my mind that anybody would treat someone like that.
So with Richard Raines, there's also Cody Payne,
Yeah.
And Cody Payne of The Dangerous Summer also had some beef with the band, offering to do design work for the band, and after everything was paid for, did not send out the merchandise, like Ben said. But the full story, so this record came out in 2010. Yeah. So if you look up articles from that era, they're very few and far between. But, that's what I found. Seems like that was kind of the big hit with it.
Yeah, I wish that 10 years ago, if I would have came to this album and heard the story behind it, I probably would have sided with The Dangerous Summer, since I was such a Dangerous Summer fan going back. And we hadn't heard about like the reason why The Dangerous Summer broke up the first time, because it wasn't 2013 yet. And Cody Payne didn't fuck over his own band.
Yeah, seems like a great dude. I don't know him, but
he has this like smug personality about him. And thank God he got what was coming to him, dude.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Hope he got better.
Yeah, don't fuck over your friends.
Yeah.
Or don't offer to do something for someone and then not do it and steal their money.
That's such a fuck. All right, dude. We could tell you that.
I could get on a rant for that or forever about that.
Let's jump into the lyrics. Because the lyrics are something special. So it took a lot of digging up bones in my backyard nightly. I'm half a bottle in. I'm just now feeling feisty. Ooh, boy. Yeah. I fucking dig that. Goes into, this is the fuck you to Richard Rains, who told me I should lose some weight. Now, the fuck you, or the Richard Rains part in the song, they kind of
blurred out.
Blur it out a little bit. I don't know if it's because of, like, they were afraid of being sued or something, which, I mean, I fucking would be.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's what it was. And come to think of it, Payne, you too. You screwed our fans. We screwed you.
Yeah.
I fucking dig this song. I think it's like to have the guts to tell people directly in a song to fuck off for fucking over their band. I think it's a good way to like creatively show your frustration.
Yeah, and like the fact that he got away with it and this album like kind of blew up after.
It had its, I don't know if
it blew up, but it definitely has like a cult following.
That's what, it has a giant cult following. If I was back, I probably listened to this record closer to 2012 or 2013 when I found it. And I'm curious about like how much, because I know they have like diehard fans out there.
Yeah.
As they should.
Yeah.
But anyway, the brass instruments, fucking dope. The harmonies, man, they sound great. The production on this is awesome.
This whole album kind of gives me Say Anything vibes as well. It's not as like quirky as Say Anything, but it's still like within the same vein with the brass instruments and some of like and the harmonies and stuff like that. Exactly what you said, but it's definitely great.
Exactly what you said.
Exactly what you said, because I'm nervous. I'm not nervous.
All right. Well, the next song, which is basically a direct link from the first song, is called I'm Losing Weight for You.
I'm losing weight for you. I'm losing weight for you. I'm losing weight for you.
Let's see what Ben had to say about this one.
Next song is
I'm Losing Weight for You.
Yeah, I'm Losing Weight for You. So
those are like, did you write them together or did you write them separately?
I didn't start writing them together, but eventually I was like, these are sort of in the same key, like different stuff is happening, but they're structured similarly. So like the first one is very much like, but I'm Losing Weight for You is very just sort of like owning up to like, but I'm still fucking here dancing for you.
Your lyrics kind of contradict themselves.
Absolutely. That's the whole point. It's like,
that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah. It's like, fuck you, but are there any shows I can play? Like, fuck you, but could I open that tour? Angel Kyoto Williams, she's a Buddhist author and scholar and practitioner. She says that the deeper the truth, the more paradoxical. We're all full of shit in a not in a nihilistic way, but you know, it's like all of existence is paradoxical. Like it just is. There's more, you know, this solid table I'm knocking on, the space between the atoms that make up the solid wood is more than the space, the mass of the atoms. So there's more space between the atoms than the atoms take up.
Yeah, you're going deep, man.
It's crazy. So that's sort of part of that. It's like, yeah, I hate this, but I'm still doing it. I hate that it's set up this way.
In the first song, and this is what I kind of meant by contradicting, I believe Richard Rains was the one that was telling you to lose weight. And the second one is like, I'm losing weight for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, fuck you, but I'm still going to do it.
How did you manage to come up with the line, my mood is never as bright as it seems to me, transition from Jekyll to Hyde too seamlessly? I thought that was genius.
I think, you know, writing lyrics is one of the places where I've learned to really trust my intuition. So like we talked about, like if an idea like perks my ears, like for some reason, I'm never like, that's stupid. There is no like shame or self-doubt about or there's like plenty of self-doubt, but there's no like transition from Jekyll to Hyde to it's just like mood changes. Yeah, it's weird. I just really trust my intuition. With my intuition, I'm really open when writing lyrics. You know, it just came to me.
What would you say like the overarching theme of I'm Losing Weight for You is about?
Body dysmorphia and surviving surviving in a weird situation. The songs are like, the first song, Shock and Awe, is frustration with others, and the second song is frustration with self.
So definitely big link between the first two songs, and it's a clever way, like he said, like the first song is frustration with others, second song is frustration with self, because a lot of people might not like know this while it's happening, but they go hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Often do they go hand in hand. And I love how deep he gets into it. Like he's fucking quoting Buddhists, man.
I know.
The guy's a well-read dude.
He's so smart.
We're so dumb.
Well, I mean, like, I know nothing about Buddhism. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, very little.
Yeah.
Like when he was talking about atoms, I was like, okay, I've done a little, like I've gone into like a rabbit hole of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was following him a little bit, but he's like someone who has like actual full understanding. So this is, like I said before, this is before I talked to Ben, this was my interpretation, and I said, there is a direct link between this song and the opening track. The chorus, "I'm losing weight for you," is Ben's way of trying to do what he has to do to have a successful band. It's also a story of struggling within himself, with the line, "Transition from Jekyll to Hyde too seamlessly."
yeah, that's very clever.
Yeah, very fucking clever, dude. Jumping into the lyrics, don't want to sing about girls or what they mean to me. I'm too narcissistic for all the scenery. My mood is never as bright as it seems to be. Transition from Jekyll to Hyde too seamlessly. Fucking the flow on that. He was talking about how he has he is a huge hip hop fan, and that's where a lot of flow comes from.
That realization just hit me like a light bulb.
I know. I saw your face.
You can definitely tell. Like, I wouldn't have even thought about that, but you can tell with the way that he sings and writes his music, just that flow.
Yeah, Roper, give me a beat.
You probably no, I'm not.
Roper, give me a beat, my dude. Oh no, keep going.
I got nothing.
So it's like, well, you suck.
So were you about to freestyle?
Don't want to sing about girls or what they mean to me. I'm too narcissistic for all the scenery. My mood is never as bright as it seems to be. Transition from Jekyll to Hyde too seamlessly. I was trying to make the comparison that the flow is exactly like a hip hop flow. Fuck off. I'm trying to make educated points right now.
If you had,
what?
That's my Eminem impression.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You had.
Okay, fuck. I'm gonna keep fucking moving.
Do it. I don't care.
Other lyrics. But if you can hear this, I've had enough of straight lines and heavy loads. I'm just not this tough. After my kind of night that ends throwing up. Once I clean up my mess, oh fuck it. It really has to do. I didn't really get the body dysmorphia thing until I read the lyrics and I heard him say it. Going through a stage of, okay, well, I'm told I need to lose weight to have a successful band.
Yeah.
To have a successful career in music. So, he's fucking, bulimic.
Yeah.
And it's so fucked up.
And once you put yourself in that perspective, it's really hard to get over looking at yourself that way, Yeah. If someone tells you constantly you're fat, you're the rest of your life.
You're going to hear it and you're going to see it.
It doesn't matter how much you weigh. Like me being a kid, I weighed probably 150 pounds from the age of 8 to 14.
Damn.
And so I was always the bigger, chubbier kid growing up, especially in Catholic school where there's only 19 kids in my class. So I was the only fat kid in class. So even to this day, I still look at myself in the wrong angle and I'm like, God, fat ass.
Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult to deal with. So
it's a similar story to me too.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, fucking. All right, I'm sad. Let's move.
No, let's move on.
I just fucking dug the song with the instruments. The singing with that fits so fucking well. Lyrically, it's sophisticated when it needs to be and simple for a powerful fucking message. In the chorus, it gets more not as cryptic.
Yeah.
Not as making comparisons, but as in this is what's fucking
it's
happening.
Straight to the point.
I think that's a great way to do songwriting. That's and I know a lot of people that would disagree, but something I just always felt like that was the most impactful to me.
Yeah.
But Roper, let's jump on to the next song.
Let's do it.
The next song is "Living the Dream."
This one's a good one.
Can't afford to live like this.
All right, let's see what Ben had to say about "Living the Dream."
All right.
Yeah, so Living the Dream. Dude, we recorded that. Like, we redid what we redid. We put that on the record with hopes of like, people were like, you got to get like songs for radio syncs and stuff like that. They were like, this song's going to get like picked up and you guys are going to make a fuckload of money on it. And I was like, all right, let's do it. That song is basically about, the band can be very meta and very personal to me. I mean, it really is. That's the whole brand. Just sort of like looking at where I was at 23. Like, I wrote that song the day after my birthday. I was like, let's reflect. Like, how do we reflect? I've made some decisions. There have been consequences. Do we continue on this path? I was very frustrated with my experience with labels, being told I was too poor to make music and to give whatever we were giving a go. I've struggled my entire life I've been very poor for a very long time. This isn't a rich man. It is a rich man's game. All of this is a rich man's game. But like, no, I can do this. Like, that's what we're doing.
Let me ask you a question. The line, we'll sail through sleazy seas, past the casting couches, rug burn knees. No, I'm not done yet. No, I'm only getting started. How did you come to that? Do you remember?
Again, just felt very fuck you, because we'd had conversations with like 4 or 5 different labels and we didn't know what we were yet. And Fall Out Boy was a thing. And suddenly like me having 10 extra pounds on me was way too much. If I put out the same music 5 years ago, this would be a gigantic. We'd started 5 years later or 1 year earlier. Don't call me fat and tell me I'm either early or late.
Okay. I just love, he just made that fucking joke, and I think it's the funniest thing. But it's so funny because it's fucking true.
Yeah.
It's true. He made comparisons to Fall Out Boy, which, Patrick Stump was always a bigger dude. I'm thinking of the right dude, right?
Yeah. He's not your typical, like, commercial pop star, so
yeah, he was kind of, when I like got into like YouTube rabbit holes about like theses behind the band, he was always the person that was more, how do I say this, like he was more of like the strategist behind the band.
Yeah, and Pete Wentz was more so the commercial figure for that band.
Yeah, and I mean, like, fucking, what they did worked.
Yeah,
so props to them with that. But yeah, Ben really got into it with this song. So when I was listening and kind of like trying to figure out what the song was said, I said, I believe the song is about attempting to become a musician or any profession that seems impossible to accomplish, which the lyrics really back that up.
Yeah.
It's interesting because this song was previously recorded on another EP, I believe, and structurally the same song. Definitely produced a lot better with this record. And it's interesting that when, discussing the song with other people, they were, trying to do not a radio hit, but they were trying to like take clips from it to be.
Yeah.
I think I just would have never guessed, know?
I mean, it kind of shows like the difference, like I was talking about earlier, just the difference in the way that the music business was ran 10 years ago as opposed to now.
Very different.
You wouldn't even think about the struggles that he had 10 years ago now, because you could put out this whole album yourself and you could probably gain the exact same notoriety from it just by streaming and by marketing yourself.
Yeah, Billie Eilish is like a super... Like, that's like they did everything, the first album, in one of the bedrooms of their house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, if you have the technical know-how and...
Or somebody that does.
Yeah, or know somebody who does, As, like, going with myself, I, recording songs for the new EP I'm doing, like, I recorded acoustic guitar and I sang vocals here to have kind of a, foundation to what we can build a song on top of. But after, like, the foundation is built, if you listen to it again, you could tell the quality of my voice and like recording of the acoustic guitar is just a lot lower than what he has because you have to have the gear to do it.
Exactly.
You know, so a little bit of a tangent there, but lyrics I fucking dug. Yesterday I turned 23. The date didn't mean that much to me. Then I started adding figures up in my head. It seems the cost of dreaming's left me in the red.
Yeah.
And I relate to that line so fucking much. You know, going to college, you know, trying to have a career in audio and music, it's a fucking big dream and it costs a lot of money.
Yep.
It costs a lot of fucking money. If anybody is like in those shoes where they want to like pursue music as a career, don't go to college for it. Fucking
do it yourself.
Yeah, do it yourself. Watch tutorials online. You know, I probably learned more from going on YouTube and Googling how I want to do something or getting ideas from that rather than going to college. It's nice to have feedback from an industry professional. Do not get me wrong. But it's like you create your own style in a way of learning by yourself. And I think that's super, that's what's going to make you successful.
It's also more relatable too.
Mm-hmm,
Doing things by yourself, somebody can relate to that or find that and feed off of that and make them want to create their own things. So
yeah. Other lines, you're only brave till you're scared. You're only unique until compared to every other worthless fuck trying to crawl into bed tonight. You know, I think that's just like a line for the modern day person. It's like, you know, there are yins and yangs to everything. Yeah. Right. And I think he displayed that really well. We'll sail through the sleazy seas, past all the casting couches, rug burned knees. No, I'm not done yet. No, I'm only getting started. That's like the fucking first step to taking charge of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that you have to go through the hardships, like rug burned knees, that's just an analogy for sucking fucking dick. Yeah. You know, really trying to fucking push yourself forward. Yep. It's a hard... Anything you do in life is like a lot of it's not going to be handed to you. You got to fucking step up. You got to do shit you don't want to do. Yep. Probably not have to suck a dick, but
no, you know? You can refuse to do that.
A lot of secretaries would say otherwise.
I'm sorry. A lot of like big movie stars would say otherwise too.
Oh yeah, Mr. Weinstein.
Mr. Weinstein's in jail because of that.
So. Well, you know, he had a successful run. And then finally, you can't afford to live like this. And like in the background, they have chants from the background singers going, "Yes, we can. Yes, we can." You can't be dumb enough to dream so big. Again, the fucking singers or the background singers are coming back in. It's kind of like I pictured it as, you know, you having self-doubts, but also in the back of your head, there's like someone saying, fucking push, keep going.
Yeah, there's
move,
that.
You can do it.
It's kind of an internal monologue where somebody's talking him down and he's just like, fuck you, I can do whatever I want.
It's powerful, dude. It's so fucking powerful. You know, I relate to the song on a huge level. Like I said before, I went to college to do audio engineering, work in the music industry. I'm also a musician. I run a podcast. You know, all these things people believe to be basically impossible to like sustain your life. Yeah. But, you know, we do it because we love it, even if we're doubted.
And it's rewarding too.
So fucking rewarding. Every time I've, you know, when I release my first song, fucking the most rewarding experience of my life. Doing this podcast every week keeps me going. It's something I think about on the regular.
Same here. I'm always thinking about making it better and enjoying like all the feedback that we get because like I said a couple of weeks ago, like I just really didn't have any goals for myself. And now that we do this, like, it's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's fun. We're doing what we love. You know, just talking pop punk. Yeah. There's nothing better.
The next song. Thought you can make a job out of that?
Well,
it's not really a job. It's a hobby, but.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day.
One day.
Maybe one day, my dude. All right, song number 4, A Bigger Point of Pride.
While the years are still on my side, my back is strong, my eyes are wide. I want the world.
Was this the one?
This is the one.
This is okay. This is where all hell broke loose on Friday when we tried to record this.
Yeah, we got to this song. I'm looking for the clip of audio, like where Ben talks about the song, and I'm like, I couldn't find it in my nice organized pile. And then I go into the session where I recorded and I edited everything, and we didn't talk about it.
Yeah, you skipped right over.
Yeah, we just skipped over the song. I feel bad. And the worst part is, as I'm, you know, digging through this other session, everything in the session we're recording and literally disappears.
Yeah.
I spent like 10 minutes trying to like undo everything I just did and like fucking nothing, dude.
Yeah.
I couldn't fix it.
Then after that, we just went and ate our feelings.
Yeah. Had some good old greasy food. But, you know, so I guess this one's on us. Here's my interpretation, though.
Okay.
The line, I want to work. Oh, my bad. The line, I want the work I do to be a bigger point of pride is exactly what the song's about. You know, the lead singer discusses how his work is often for nothing. He also goes down the rabbit hole of the expectations of life. People don't care what you do as long as you do something or enjoy, you know, or just fucking, I guess, enjoy the harshness of life.
Yeah.
Even if that comes like to doing what you love. So like it's kind of like, are you giving enough to society? And you know, hopefully you're giving enough to society while also doing what you love in the process. Or you do what you love and you fucking fall flat.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really give to society a lot of what a lot of people would like it to be.
Exactly.
You know?
But I feel like the most opinionated people are the ones that don't do anything. So
Well,
that's just
fucking people are like sitting on their couch eating their Cheetos like, hey,
I'm opinionated. I better go on Facebook and talk about it.
Okay, we're going to skip over that. Lyrics I fucking dug. Grow up, get a job, and cut that hair. Run off, join the army for all they care. Or bring a blanket, it gets awfully cold when you can't afford the heat and you're sleeping alone.
I had those ones written down too.
Ooh, dude, yeah, they're fucking dope.
It's pretty deep because like that's their expectations. Wait, what am I trying? Never mind.
You fucking kidding me?
Like they're giving him his expectations, but he's still living couch to couch and following his dreams, you know?
Yeah, speaking of, love living life from couch to couch.
There we go.
Thought myself content living hard to mouth, but when everything you own fits in a single bag, no matter how light the load, it tends to drag.
Yeah.
It's like a great analogy for being like, yeah, you might, you know, even like the weight, the physical weight and like the mental weight of having nothing like contradicts each other quite a bit. You know, this is kind of like an underdog story in a way.
It's what's keeping him going, you know.
While the years are still on my side, my back is strong, my eyes are wide. I want the work I do to be a bigger point of pride. It's kind of like saying, you know, you're young, you have these opportunities still in front of you. You know, you look at it with a fresh and like optimistic perspective. But like the last line, I want the work I do to be a bigger point of pride. He believes at that point he hasn't quite gotten there.
Yeah, exactly.
And man, I really just dug the song. I love the honest truth that comes from it. Demonstrates like the self-struggle and also what the world expects from you while, you know, you're kind of trying to hold up this hope at the same time. But yeah, this whole fucking song is a fucking bop, baby.
Yeah, dude, I love this song.
Anything else from you, Rope Dog?
No.
All right, my dude. Well, let's move on to song number 5, Bootstraps.
You gotta pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Just ignore them when they laugh. Make it a point.
And this is what Ben had to say about Bootstraps.
Bootstraps I started writing with the single line, from God's own junkyard to heaven above. Anybody that wants to talk to me can find me. Fan reached out and we started a conversation, and she brought up this book called God's Own Junkyard. She was like talking about it, and I was like, oh, that's great. So I just like wrote that line down. What's like a different angle on that? Again, it's way more like stand-up comedy and like speech writing or hip hop than it is like rock lyric, like typical lyric writing. I don't know. And yeah, so like from there, it's like God's Own Junkyard and sort of like where I was feeling, or like where I was in life, what I was feeling. That song has evolved over lots of time, but again, like just picking yourself up by the bootstraps. That's the overarching opinion. It's like, and that doesn't mean like fucking overcome poverty. Like, yeah, it's like, no, get off the couch, go to your job. Like it just normal shit. So, like survival is a statement in life, not just music, you know, just to survive. And these days it's harder and harder to get ahead, much less keep up. So the point of being here is to be here. People looking for miracles and shit when it's just like, you know, it's like Dr. Manhattan says, like thermodynamic miracles. They're so numerous that it's like asking a fish about water.
Super like hard honesty.
Yeah.
With describing that song. And so before talking to him, my interpretation was like the song gravitates to the idea of wanting to see a change within themselves. Along with that comes some self-doubt and seeing the worst in themselves. But the overall message is pick yourself back up when you've fallen down.
Absolutely.
You know, like he said, like pick yourself up off the bootstraps or whatever the actual term is. By the bootstraps,
Yep.
Jesus. He mentions like, you know, fucking get your ass up off the couch.
Yeah.
Go, you know, do something. You know, you
Yeah.
can't just sit down forever and expect things to change.
Yeah, from like I relate to that too because like back in the day I was like, why isn't anything good happening to me? Well, I wasn't doing anything.
You weren't doing anything to change it.
Watching like waiting for life to hand me something, but in the recent years, like I've just like I gotta go grab what I want. I gotta go do it for myself. And this is what this song is all about.
Yeah, it fucking kills it, dude.
And I like that Dr. Manhattan reference that he puts in there.
Lyrics that I fucking dig. I want to be uplifting for a change to make you feel a little better, like when a nice boy takes you to dinner, not just for space beneath your sweater.
Yeah, that's pretty.
I just dug it. I think it's a strange comparison to make, but makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll never fit the pants of a singer. I lack the lungs of a winner. I'm a failure's dead ringer. I've got the marks of a sinner. Fucking dope. And then this kind of goes back to the couch thing. Back to the couch while it bends on Doritos where I'll grow so stagnant that I breed mosquitoes. Something about that is fucking dig.
It's clever.
It is so clever, dude. I remember a little side tangent here when I showed my mom this band. And this is when I was young, you know, probably before I could drive.
Yeah.
And she I like sang that line and she's like, I don't like that line. I'm like, why?
You just don't get it, Mom.
Yeah, she's like, it's just gross. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of the point.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, this is what happens when you don't do anything. Bad things happen to you.
Yeah. Or nothing happens to you.
That's true, dude. And then the last line, you got to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Just ignore them when they laugh. Make it a point to now walk taller. Keep your chin up on the behalf of every beautiful rejection with their own ugly reflection. To anyone who's ever never felt the same. You know, it's kind of jumps to like almost like a relationship kind of a talk there.
Even that, or just like people around you thinking that they're better than you, you know?
Yeah, and I like how he says beautiful rejection, because out of rejection, you know, as much as you might want something in the moment, when you are rejected that, a lot of doors open up.
Oh my God.
You got to move
Yes.
forward. And they just do a really killer job like describing that. That's something that I kind of came to a self-realization to recently. Just because, you know, maybe you didn't get the job that you wanted, like you're gonna find a way in another, you know, you might have gotten a better job,
dude. 100%. Like,
you know,
even like relationship wise with me, like I've gone through my experiences where I've been rejected, but I just told myself not to like dwell on it, and so much better things came out of that end of relationship, you know.
Mm-hmm. If I wouldn't have been rejected by, you know, certain people, I wouldn't be with my girlfriend right now.
Exactly.
And it's, you know, it's amazing how life kind of comes to a conclusion in that way.
Yeah, just like not even like finding a new relationship, but just like myself, or becoming a better like version of me, you know, out of that. Yeah. Where I'm more confident and I'm not scared to take chances anymore, or I feel better about myself.
Yeah, that's. So. Oh, I feel like we're
picking myself up by my Vans bootstraps, you know?
I feel like we're bonding right now.
We are. We're having fun.
I dug the song. It's got such a positive energy behind it, man.
I know.
You know, Ben's vocals and the lyricism really shine, and it sounds like a band. The band had like a lot of fun with the instrumentation.
The instrumentation.
I think the way these songs are structured is like, I really have a hard time comparing it to other bands.
Yeah.
You know? If someone's like, what band is you, me, and everyone we know like? I'd be like, well, Roper said Say Anything one time, so.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's the closest comparison. I mean, like, it's not necessary. I mean, these guys have their own style, too, so.
Yeah, you know, it's a pop-punky, pop-rock, punk rock kind of a vibe to it.
Yeah.
It's got it all.
It's really fucking good. That's what it is.
It's got it all. Well, Roper, you got anything else on that song?
That's all I got, man.
Dude, all right, well, let's hit song number 6, Some Things Just Don't Wash Out.
They say some things
this is what Ben had to say about that.
Some Things Don't Wash Out came from that movie Smoking Aces. I was drunk as fuck. Just watching the movie, and like the guy was like, "Some things don't wash out." Ooh, there's something to that. Like I've said before, like tingles in the back of when I get tingles, or like when something perks up my ear, I write it down. Or I make a note of it somewhere immediately. Just sort of ruminated on that. Like, what does that mean? And eventually, sort of that idea came to mind. It's very representative of what was going on in my life at the time. Like I was being very stubborn about the band no longer existing for the most part. But I was like, nope, keep on writing. Can figure it out. Like, just finish these shows. Like, well, no, I'm writing.
Roper.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that movie? I
haven't.
I haven't either. But it's cool to think this whole album is like kind of spawned from that one line.
That one line, yeah.
It's kind of bonkers, dude.
He kind of went with that and ran with it, though.
Yeah.
Took it and ran with it.
Yeah, which is sometimes hard to do with ideas. Like, you might think it's a good idea, but then you can't really fucking find the right footing to keep moving forward with it. But, what I thought about the song, I kind of thought it was a song about alcoholism and the struggles to end bad habits.
Yeah.
Which, I think the overwhelming tone behind this record is that.
Yeah,
exactly.
This whole record is just about his frustrations with life at the time.
Yeah, I mean, as fucking punk rock music should be.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed the lines. For too long now, I've sung the same sad song, but I didn't even write it. I was just singing along. But the problem with change is it's hard, like finding lively conversations in graveyards.
Yeah.
Fucking really like that analogy at the end.
Yeah.
I hit the nail on the head, drove it straight through my hand. I have martyred myself in a scheme not so grand. More deserving of men left to rot in a rag. Haven't done shit with my life, and my skin is starting to sag. God, there's just something about that's like a religious reference. From what I can tell, and not a religious person. Groper, kind of grew up Catholic, so he might understand a little bit more than I do. But
just like the way that I took it by him saying that he's a martyr. He's a martyr for a scheme that's not so grand. That's kind of just him standing his ground, and he's willing to die on that hill.
Mm-hmm.
Where like with the record company, he was adamant about not the record company, just with his manager, he was just adamant that no, I'm still gonna put this out, and I don't care like. You're calling me fat and all this stuff and telling me to lose weight, but here I am. I'm still doing all this just because this is mine.
Yeah.
And I want people to hear this. And like, he's willing to go against the grain and go with the grain too, just so that way he can live his dream.
He's going to die on that hill, dude.
Yep.
He's going to die on that hill. Other lines like, you drink too much, your mind's unfit. You really can't afford to live like this. You're only almost there, but still so far. Everyone. They say some things just don't wash out, but I've been dying to know what getting clean is all about. And now years have gone by, but it's still stuck in my mind. Some things just don't wash out.
I love the part of this song, though, at the end where they're like, you've got to dig. And God, so it just pumps me up when I heard it. Because it's like, keep moving forward, dude.
Keep fucking going. I like the line specifically, but I've been dying to know what getting clean is all about.
I know, and I love how he sings that, too.
Yeah, it's like he wants to do it, but he doesn't. Like, this crutch has been there for so long.
Absolutely.
It's like a part of his body.
I mean, you and I were having that conversation the other day where a lot of people in their mid-20s are like, they want to go out and be social, but sometimes the only way to be social is going out and getting fucking plastered with everybody.
Yeah.
And it's a hard habit to break.
It is. It's just hard to like gain confidence without those crutches.
Yeah.
And doing it by yourself. I fucking really dug the song, and I think, I've learned that some of the best songs revolve around the struggles in our lives,
Yeah.
This song, go Roper.
They're the most relatable,
Oh, yeah, 100%. Because when I'm writing specifically, every single one of my songs are not fucking happy because I don't feel the need to write when I'm happy. I'm enjoying the moment.
It's hard to write a song when you're happy because I mean, like,
they don't feel genuine.
Yeah.
To me, at least. Like, if you listen to pop stations and you listen to them talk about how happy they are about something, I just think to myself, like, yeah, I can see there being a lot of happy songs that are genuine.
Yeah.
But I can see more happy songs being written because, well, we need a radio hit to make some fucking money.
Absolutely. And then you have that one happy song that gains exposure for you, and then the rest is just sad.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. But it is, it's difficult to express problems like that and to really dig into yourself and try to change or try to like see a way to change at least. But the clever lyricism just brings this fucking song to life.
Absolutely.
Like we said before, this whole song was based off one line from a movie he was watching when he was drunk.
Yeah.
As fuck.
Just look what blossomed from there. You know?
It's fucking bonkers, dude. Anything else on that song, my
No.
man? Well, song number 7, James Brown is Dead.
Oh, this one's funky.
James Brown is dead. So what's the point in pretending any of us still have some kind of soul?
Well, let's hear what Ben had to say about this
It's
song.
funky.
If it was just a clip that said it's funky.
So James Brown is Dead, I started writing the earliest. James Brown is Dead was about, well, part of it was the verses were about, I wrote those in observation of like one of my former bandmates and his girlfriend's relationship. Just watching a dysfunctional relationship, fucking like, it's so annoying. It's like, just break up already. Like what? But I understand the dynamics of that now. I did not when I was 24. And the other part of it is very much just like back when I was like drinking and going out on like a Friday night. Essentially got called out by a woman because I'm not much of an offensive guy. You're pretty much gonna have to take it by the hand to get me in bed. And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just hanging out. Like, I got no agenda. So it's just like surprisingly attractive, but surprisingly nihilistic woman I had a very specific interaction with. And that song was just like about that. Yes, we wrote that in I wanted to rip off They Might Be Not They Might Be Giants. The bongos in Megan Diaz Are There Giants Too were super inspirational of that song. And then from there, like me, Rico, and Trevor like constructed it, and then I had those lyrics ready to go, and then we had the drummer come in.
It's funky.
It's funky.
So my interpretation was, I said it was a tough one. I believe it's a song about a past relationship that ended. Not true.
Yeah.
James Brown was a famous funk musician that was referred to as the godfather of soul.
Yep.
And I can see often in relationships that you'd be putting your heart and soul into something, but Ben seems to be saying that the relationship couldn't be, it just couldn't happen, and describes, the word love as kind of infatuation with that. And also there was no soul, because how could there be with the godfather of soul being dead? The relationship is like a shell of a loving relationship. So it's kind of trying to take what I thought it was about, and what he said was, it was basically a one night stand, right?
Yeah.
And I'm curious, I should have asked him, I'm curious as to like how much of this song was like he took an idea and he ran with it, but it wasn't necessarily what was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I dug it. I'm not really into funk, but I gotta say, like, this song was the hardest one for me to grow into.
Yeah.
When listening to it, because first of all, I didn't know who James Brown was. I had to.
What?
Yeah, I had to. Dude, I listen to like pop punk, rock music, and ska music exclusively.
Oh man.
So I never really got into funk music, but
I love a
research.
good slap bass.
I do.
And that's
like
what
slap
that's
bass
what
too.
funk's all about, man.
I do like slap bass. I like, because like when sometimes when music gets stale, like you can tell musicians try to like add other types of music into it, especially like this song.
Yeah, this song it's like everything on the album, but it's so different at the same time. You know?
Some lyrics that I dug. This isn't love. It would require too much touching up. This isn't love. A word like that just isn't rough enough. Ooh. And there's a pair of size 7s keeping the beat. And I'm staring pretty hard, but it's not at her feet. She caught my glances and she walked right up my way. Jesus, I can't read today. And then the line, which is like the fucking selling point of the song, James Brown is dead.
So what's the point of pretending?
Any of us still any of us still have some kind of soul. Get it out of your head. What's the point in remembering? It's assured that you're not breaking the mold. James Brown is dead.
I liked the part that caught me about that chorus is so what's the point of having any soul? I'm like, oh, that's pretty smart, pretty clever.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of, I can see it better now. Like there wasn't any like soul or love in that one night, you know.
Yeah,
it was just like the roughness of, you know, what it is.
Yep.
And man, it's, you know, I dug the song. When Ben sings like James Brown is dead, the song sounds so well produced. The mixing along with the instruments make an incredibly powerful moment there. It's fucking, you know, dope. Also, I'm also gonna say I love the brass solos in the bridge as well.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's I think you'll never be able to say that this isn't a catchy song.
Oh, it's so catchy.
It's such a fucking catchy song. What? Anything more from you, Rope Man?
It's funky.
It's funky, dude. Dude, did you know the song's fucking funky? Fucking funky, bro. Okay, all right. Well, song number 8.
Here, I'm gonna go use the restroom before we.
Oh, okay. I'll do this one by myself then.
That's fine.
I'll wait. You can't pee during the podcast, Roper.
You're gonna edit it out anyways.
Hope you enjoyed your pee break. Song number 8. The next 20 minutes.
This will hurt, a point that I must stress, because the next 20 minutes love surely won't.
Let's see what good old Ben had to say about this one.
Next 20 minutes, Augie and I wrote. Yeah, he just had like he had like one of those, like, just put like a reverse effect on something he had. And yeah, it was just like a ratchet sound. He had just like a couple, you know, nice little guitar parts. And I was like, okay, let's switch these around. Let's like do this. And then I was like, okay, I got a hook, you know. And that song is very much basically like listing out all my self-perceived failings as a romantic partner.
The line, your love is like a bus, I may miss you, but I know more will come. I think that's fucking, I just love that line. I think about it all the time.
Do you want me to ruin it for you?
Yep.
I take inspiration. Like Gucci Mane had a line similar.
Oh wait, stop. No.
Isn't that? No, never mind.
Please no.
He says it like super confidently. You know, he says something to that effect, like super confidently, like with a similar metaphor. Not around the same time, but when Drake's Hotline Bling came out, I heard that as like a sad song. Like Drake was sad as fuck. Like there's just a tone to it that feels very sad to me. So with like hip hop stuff, like all the braggadocious stuff, I'm like, what if they were sad? Like, what if that line was meant to be sad, but because of hip hop, it's like, you know, it's like it sounds like a happy thing, because it wasn't okay to be sad in hip hop until 4 years ago. You had to fuck bitches and get money or go home. Like, like you know, so it's like, what if that was sad? It's a really interesting way to listen to hip hop when you hear like a neat lyric in hip hop, and you're like, what if that was like a sad thing? What if you change the emotion of it? Oh, that's a fucking bummer. Like, yeah, so that's what that song is. That was like, all right, lay things out.
Fuck bitches, get money, Roper. So you can tell where I got that inspiration from.
Yeah.
So he kind of goes into like the production of the song.
Yeah.
Not much into the actual song itself, but I think that's because, you know, like he said, he did say it was like his way of saying that, like, he was a bad partner in relationships. So what I said was, sounds like the end of a relationship. You know, Ben has admired to sleeping with someone else. I think he said admitted sleeping with someone else, and that he knows the relationship is easily replaceable, coming to the realization that this relationship isn't going to work out. So a little bit of a sad song.
Yeah.
So like I said in the clip, it's sad because your love is like a bus. I may miss you, but I know more will come. There's just something about that line that's always stuck out to me.
It's really clever.
Yeah. It's just,
I liked how he compared that to hip hop though. Like, I would have never looked at. I mean, I would have never looked at Hotline Bling like that, you know, because I mean it's not presented like that.
Yeah, definitely, and that's
shows what kind of sheep I am.
It's like there was that what's that really big song that was like sounded happy, but it was about a school shooting.
Oh, Pumped Up Kicks.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's you can make a song sound any way you want, but the lyrics are always going to be what the song is about.
Semi-charm kind of life.
Yeah. It's kind of amazing to think that, you know, those songs are fucking about some dark shit, but they'll make it as happy as they can.
Yep.
But, you know, I think overall the song it's one of my favorites, honestly, off the record.
I know you talked about it last week, too, so.
Yeah, there's this part where, like, he gets this, like, really high part, and I was like, holy cannolis, Ben.
That really stuck out to me listening through this.
I think it's like, if I can't make things right, or something like that. It's like...
You could go higher.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to. I do not have that ability. But, you know, I really love when in the bridge when Ben is pushing his vocals to the absolute limit.
Yeah.
The horns, again, really add to the song in a way that's not distracting, but would sound like the song would sound completely different without it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's like those subtle moments in songs that you don't really realize how impactful they are until you strip them away.
Yeah.
You know, if you ever have opportunities to go on YouTube and like watch people strip certain parts of songs.
Yeah.
Like there's this guy, Rick something, he like takes really famous songs that he has like all the tracks for, and he will solo them so like you can hear exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And like when he mutes them and like showing you like, wow, you know, the song sounds a lot different without that point. So music production, big part of the whole writing and making music.
Yeah, I'll have to look up Rick something and see.
Yeah, Rick something's good. All right, anything more from you?
No.
All right, dude. Song number 9. A little bit more.
I just want a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more tonight.
Let's see what Ben had to say about a little bit more. How did a little bit more come about?
Ryan and I started, like, Ryan had like the original like riff, and I had this sort of like off time thing I wanted to do. So like that's what happened in the chorus. And then Noel stayed up, like he was like, I did a bunch of Adderall, or he just fucking like drank a bunch of Diet Coke and smoked cigarettes all night. And he was like, and I put horns to it. So we were like, uh-oh. Not about the horns, but like when you put it in the context with all those uppers.
Did it come out the way it was on the record?
No, it came out like 70% of the way there. It was like too ska, which was fine, you know, all good.
What about the whistling?
And then the whistling was just a melody I heard. And I was like, I don't want to. That's why some of the stuff is interesting, because I'm like, well, this doesn't need to be a guitar. Like, it's so boring. Like, we could do something else there that makes the same noise. I look at vocals that way, you know, in the same way that James Brown did. You know, he's like, this is all percussive. Like, it's all creating accents and all creating rhythms for you.
So how did you guys record that? Was it one person doing multiple takes and topping them over each other, or?
Yeah. We couldn't do, like, I've never met people that can whistle harmonically, like accurately. No, it was just me being like, and then like just being like, can we get higher? Like, can we make it happen? The lyrics are just about, you know, like, I'm barely keeping this thing afloat. Like, I just need a little more time. With Ryan, I was always trying to get him to stay in the band. I was always trying to keep him around, but unfortunately it's a tough life, you know? Yeah. He started that tune. Yeah. Such a good guitarist. But yeah, it was always such a labor, like an intense labor. Like every 3 months we had to take a break while he was in the band, because he'd be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I think he might've been like bipolar, but we're going to do.
So something I never told you, Roper, but
what's that?
When I was younger, and I discovered this band, there was, I had an iPod, and there was like this thing where you could run with the iPod. Yeah. And if you started to slow down, the iPod could tell that, and then it would like kick on your like pump up song.
Oh, okay.
And that's what this song was for
really?
me. Yeah. So every time I heard this song, you know, I fucking, you know, so I always get, my heart always races.
I gotta go fast.
Yeah, gotta go fast. Sonic the Hedgehog, baby. I just, so like I mentioned the whistling in the song because I feel like it's something a lot of people don't fucking think about. Yeah. But that's cool. Name another song that has whistling like that.
That one song by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros.
So,
Yeah, I got you there, fucker.
Suck a dick. I enjoy it. I liked that he was like, yeah, this doesn't have to be a guitar. We can make the same notes with.
Yeah, that's cool, and that's such an aspect or abstract way to look at that too. Because most people will be like, oh, let's just lay more guitar on it.
Yeah, exactly. But I really dug the bridge. Well, that was the last one. My interpretation, like, I really believe the song is about getting through the difficulties of life. Life is going to throw so much your way, and you've got to do everything you can to push through. And Ben kind of made it like, I needed more time with this one person in the band.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted that person to stay. And I think, I don't think anyone would know that without, his insight on it.
Yeah. And it's really hard, like, when you personally can see something but something else can't, or someone else can't see the same thing, and you really want to like steer them in that direction, like, no, it could be this, but you're looking at it completely different way.
That's why I think this is such a cool idea, is to like have the artist really give the insight behind these records, dude.
Yeah.
It's so phenomenal.
We got lucky with this, so.
Oh yeah. And so lyrics I really dug. If I had to make a list of every reason not to keep on keeping on, number 2 would be the pencil I have to find. Ticonderoga, I always have to spell that out, 10 feet long. And number 22,308 would be my overwhelming urge to hyperbolate. But sadly, most of all, at the top of my list would be the fear of commitment in my penman's fist. Now, do you know what Ticonderoga is?
I don't.
I researched it.
What is it?
I don't quite. It's described as if like you had 2 parts of land and it had like a certain amount of distance in between of water.
Yeah.
So in the song he uses it as like a way to describe distancing himself.
Yeah.
But like I didn't even know what this fucking thing was. I think it's actually a specific place or somewhere in the world is the.
How do you spell that?
It's Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga, 10 feet. Let's just say that, Rope Dog.
The name Ticonderoga comes from the Iroquois word Contaro, meaning it is all the junction of 2 waterways. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So kind of like one direction going one way and the other going the other way.
Maybe.
I
don't know.
I don't know. Pocahontas told me that you can't step in the same river twice, so.
Anyway, dug that. Also, it feels like 15 elephants sitting on my chest. 36
I did
vultures,
like that part too.
Yeah, picking at my flesh. Solo man overboard without a life vest. Now I'm a little weighed down, but I'm doing my best. And then it goes into the chorus. I just want a little bit more tonight. I just want a little bit more. He sings it way better than I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it justice.
It's okay.
But man, it's powerful. It's like repetitive. It's okay to like be repetitive in a song if like you're trying to like display this point and you're trying to like nail it into somebody's head.
If it doesn't make sense, then don't do it.
Yeah, that's my perspective. I'm sure other people have like they could probably do something better with it than I could. But I really fucking dug this song. Like I said, the whistling in the beginning, so fucking catchy and well done. It sounds so good. And I love the meaning of the song and the creative lyricism to display the difficulties of even attempting taking on life struggles head on to actually trying to do so. It's like trying to like tell yourself you can't do it for certain reasons, but then it's like, but you can.
Yeah.
You can push through it. And there's just something about the song. Roper, you got anything to say about this song?
I just like it. I see, like I said, I was fresh to this album on Monday, so
yeah, I kind of threw him a.
There's a different level of appreciation from Hunter than there is from me. Like I really do like this album, and I feel like the more I listen to it, the more it will grow, and I can form more opinions. But I'm also appreciating it a lot more from hearing Ben's perspective as well.
Yeah,
which is cool.
I think it was such a rewarding. Like Ben's one of my heroes. Like the way he writes and sings is like holy shit.
It's not common the way like his music is.
Yeah, it really isn't. But all right, well, let's go on to song number 10. The Puzzle. What'd you say?
The puzzle. It's French for puzzle.
Let's see what Ben had to say about the puzzle.
The puzzle I wrote, it was like such a Dewey Cox moment. I wrote it while working on a puzzle. I was home, like trying to make the second half of the record. I was working overnight. Like, you know, you can hear all the jobs I list. You know, I started writing the song in Portland while I was like super lost and not knowing what to do, and to, you know, being back home and trying to figure shit out. That's always it. Like, I feel like every song is about being knocked down and figuring out how to stand on my 2 feet again. I feel like I'm the trauma healing mental health TikTok, like band. Like that's the, like, if they only knew. Like I've written out the entirety of the journey so far. This is a non-self-help band.
So yeah, he it's interesting. I like how he views. I mean, it's hard to talk about because when he's kind of like telling you about these songs, you can kind of tell every song is kind of born from the same trauma.
Yeah.
And so it's harder and harder to like give more insight. But what I will do is say, you know, this is what my interpretation was. The puzzle is really picking at yourself like a scab, not letting yourself fully heal and tearing yourself up. It's also a listening, giving advice that you yourself can't follow. Leaves on a down note, Ben not fully learning his lesson and continues to fear while picking himself apart. It's funny that he was like, no, I was just working on a puzzle. And then it goes into like, you know, I really fucking dug deep into it, which is super cool that people can like have different interpretations.
Different aspects.
I mean, like he used the puzzle as like an analogy.
Yeah.
I just think I like fucking like really dug into this analogy, and Ben's like, yeah, it's pretty
straightforward. I like the Dewey Cox reference that he gave us.
Yeah. Fucking lyrics I dug. Still, it feels like I've been wearing a wet pair of jeans. Something is rubbing me the wrong way. Yeah, I just dug that.
That's
you know,
clever.
Anyone who's like worn wet jeans, you know,
I hate wet jeans.
I really like them.
You're psycho.
I jump in the tub every day before I leave.
You're never nude,
huh?
You probably
I'm never nude.
You're a never nude. It's from Arrested Development. This guy showers in jorts.
I've seen some of that show, but not that part. Lately, I've been anything but direct, so can I just spell this out, or will I lose some respect? I've been having doubts about the last few years. In case you don't like blunt, let me make this less clear. I think that's interesting. That, like, you know, a lot of people like to say they like to hear it blunt, but honestly,
no, a lot
when
of people,
they do, they get upset.
They can't fucking handle it.
Yeah. And then he's like, well, let me make this less clear. Let me give you the ability to like shift this to where you're not as hurt.
Yeah. Let me hurt your feelings less than I'm about to.
Yeah. I've been picking apart the puzzle I've been working on, and from what I see from here, there's no point in carrying on. I've been picking apart all night long, and suddenly my biggest fear, I'll never stop picking apart the puzzle I've been working on. It's like you can use this as a life analogy, or maybe the band. It's like, you know, you've been given the ability to really think about your life, but sometimes thinking too much is not good.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the mystery, it's like, what do they say? Like, not knowing something is going to make you happier in the long run, or something. Like, there's like an actual quote.
I mean, just what you just said, though, like the thought that came to my mind is like an artist is never done with their work. So
yeah, true that.
I mean, nothing is ever perfect in like their eyes. I mean, their own work.
Yeah,
especially they're always tweaking at it and like fixing it, trying to make it better, even though it could be like a masterpiece.
Yeah,
it's not a masterpiece in their mind. Yeah,
you know. Oh, by the way, I was thinking of ignorance is bliss.
Oh, okay, yeah, that
too. You know, the less you know, man. Yeah. And then I also wrote down, but I suppose that's the point of it all, so we can get back up when we lose footing and fall. I'm a little embarrassed. My cheeks kind of burn. It seems the lesson I wrote is one I've still yet to learn. So it's like he knows.
Yeah.
He knows how to make his life better, but he's like still not acting on it yet.
He's not convinced yet.
And the song kind of hits me in a way of like repeating bad habits.
Yeah.
And I think I'm definitely a culprit of that, you know, doing things, you know, and you kind of like in hindsight, you kind of wonder why.
Everybody's guilty of it. And I think it's just because it's comfortable. You know, you got away with it once. So let's see how many more times you could get away with it.
Dude, fucking exactly. I dug the song because, you know, I think it's just honest.
It's very honest, yeah.
Not everything in life has a happy ending. We continually go through struggles, whether they work out or, you know, they follow us through the rest of our lives. And I think in the end, the song really kills it on selling that emotion, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of these songs like end like a happy, upbeat moment because it's like, you know, yeah, this sucks, but I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And then this one's like, no, it still sucks.
That's kind of the overlying message of this whole episode, though, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even with our singles earlier, just like, yeah, it sucks, but I'm still out here doing it, making it to be, or so that way it could be better in the future, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. All right, well, last song.
Last one.
Moon, Roll Me Away.
I'm the tide, we both know I can't stay, but nothing short of the moon could ever pull me away.
Roll me away, I wanna roll away tonight. That's Bob Seger's song.
Wrong album. Let's see what Ben had to say about this.
Rico just showed up with it, and I wrote, you know, that was the last song I wrote for the record. This is the last song on the record. This is the last song we did for it. I was just sort of reflecting on the journey thus far, you know, because again, I was like, this isn't going to do anything. Nothing's going to happen. Bye.
Yeah.
So that was sort of like what that was. It's like, I can't do this forever. You know, sort of at the end of every journey, you know, there is acceptance. And that song is sort of like, I'm accepting whatever the tide brings. I'm just laying in the ocean now.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of somber.
Yeah.
Nice ending to it. Like he really didn't think this. He thought this was the end, and honestly, kind of was for a while.
Yeah.
They didn't release music. They released an EP afterwards called "Dogged" in I want to say like 2014.
And now last year he put out. Did he put out a new album?
He put out a new song.
New song last year. So
I think it was this year though.
I thought it said 2019.
Maybe it did. I don't know.
It's
called Fine. And
there's
it's great.
another one. Yeah.
It's great. But anyway, Moon Roll Me Away. So this is kind of what I interpreted here. I said it was another tough one. It feels like it was written specifically for the end of this record. It gives you the idea of like a tide leaving the shore because of the moon pole, and almost as if the record is ending because it's saying it's time for it to come to an end, you know?
Yeah.
And in the full conversation, I mentioned to him it feels like the tide's like something that always comes and goes, you know?
Yeah.
He uses the term ebb and flow a lot in that song. And I thought it was like, okay, the end of the record's, you know, done. Here we go. We're rolling out, but like they'll be back. Like a tide. They'll always come back. And then he replied in response to that being like, I thought this was my bye-bye record.
Yeah.
You know, and he was like, you just never know.
Exactly.
And I was like, I really fucking dug that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of a good way to end this whole album.
Lyrically, like as he says, as long as I remember now the salty taste in my mouth, he has always forced me to spout a song ringing like a shout. This ebb and flow has got me less high than low. He repeats that.
Yeah.
And then later he says, I'm the tide, we both know I can't stay, but nothing short of the moon could ever pull me away. Fight as I might, this is just a display. We both know we're only here at this beach for the day. It's like sad, but like in a hopeful, happy way.
Yeah.
You know? This was like the other song that took me a long time to get into.
Yeah.
This wasn't like an instant hit for me.
This one's probably the one that I'm least familiar with, but
yeah, but I like I said, I like the brass lead in. The acoustic guitars really like have a nice lay a great foundation for heavy but simple drums that make you feel, dude.
Yeah.
It's like I think the drums stand out a lot in this song. And the group vocals were really nice too.
Yeah.
I really dug that. But yeah, that's kind of the end of this record. So these are my final thoughts, Roper.
Yeah, let's hear it.
This record, to my ears, is an absolute treat. I personally connected with Ben's struggles, and the way he writes his lyrics makes for a creative way of telling a story. The beautiful thing about writing is there are so many different ways to tell your story. Even if it's a simple story, there's a way to share it in a unique perspective. And let me just pause my thing here. And with that, I mean, every single song is basically about the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's still, every song is very different.
Yep.
The production on this record is something I've never really heard elsewhere. So many unique instruments like the brass or whistling were showcased in such a beautiful manner. The group vocals always sounded so well done, and when they're telling a story in a unique way, you can't help but to think, what fucking poetry.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy about that. And then Ben also describes like the record as a whole, and I'm going to play that clip.
Let's do that.
Everyone left the band in 2009. So like I've had like a lot of different people play in the band. It's only in the last few years that I've started calling it my band, because like I was essentially like forced into to sing for a band because they liked the songs I wrote. They're like, we're starting over and you're going to be the singer. And I was like, oh no, I am. Like shit. People left because they didn't think it was going to work out. And then someone else left because they didn't like the two remaining guys, and without the other two, the whole thing wasn't worth it. You know what I mean? So I was just kind of sitting there, left there with my dick in my hand, and like, I still have these songs and I still have something to say. And I feel like I just got to get these out there. And if that's that, that's that, you know? So that was Shock and Awe. I'm Losing Weight for You. Some Things Don't Wash Out. A Little Bit More. Oh, The Puzzle. No, I wrote The Puzzle while we were after we recorded the first like 4 or 5. So I had those 4 or 5 tunes ready to go. I was like, fuck it. Like, if this is the last thing I'm going to say to the music industry and to speaking to my experience as a creative person, in this genre, like I'm going to say it, you know, like,
yeah. So you didn't plan on doing anything after this?
No, like I didn't think it was ever I thought this was like a breakup EP. I thought the 4 songs I had was like a bye guys.
Yeah, this whole thing was just adios.
That's amazing. And then look at where he's at now.
Yeah, he's still going strong. It took him a long time.
It took him about 8 years.
But he fucking came back. And I told him, I was like, when I heard the song Fine, I was like, they're back, baby.
Yep.
And he was super happy to hear that. He also said, in regards to the future of the next record.
Ooh.
Hell no, man. Not for another couple months. Everybody wants a full length, so we're gonna make everybody wait another 5 months. I'm strangely confident about these songs. So, well, I mean, I still have like a ton of self-doubt, but I'm like, overall, there's like something to all of this stuff.
So what you're saying is there's a future coming.
2021, baby.
Oh,
2021.
really?
Yeah, I asked him when we were going to get the next single. That's what he was talking about at the beginning.
Okay.
And he said, like, not for a few more months.
Yeah.
So 2021 is going to hit back with a single, maybe another in between that and the record. He's saying like 5 months or so, mentioning that I think he said most of the songs were written.
Okay.
Most of the songs were written. And I should say this whole phone call was recorded at, his discretion. And I said, like the Goalkeeper interview, I'm going to put the whole thing on YouTube.
Very cool.
If you guys want to check that out. Super nice, kind guy. I saved a surprise for you, Roper.
Oh,
yeah. I saved
did.
a little bit of a surprise for you.
I'm
just going to play the clip.
Okay.
A bigger point of pride, you mentioned the post office stuff, and that's actually ripped from a Wonder Years line.
Yeah, dude, I knew you'd like that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I talked to him about that, and he was like, yeah, no, he couldn't remember what song it was, but it was from, like, I believe The Upsides he was talking about. And then I told him that it's funny because in one of your songs, Dog, you talk about, the bugs eating you alive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, in Dan's side project, Aaron West in the Roaring 20s, there's a big part about
bugs eating them whole.
Bugs eating them whole. And he was like, no way. And it was, yeah, the whole thing's in that interview that we'll put on YouTube. I'm just super happy that we got to have this talk with him. He was so fucking nice, dude.
Yeah.
Such a nice dude. So, again, if Ben, you're listening to this, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Big thank you. I'd like to, in future episodes, have a live member from the band talk to us while we're going through it, and he can fill us in with all these insights and whatnot. I think that would be so cool.
One day we'll get there.
One day we're gonna get there, dude. Next week, maybe. No, probably not.
Probably not next week.
But still. So that was Some Things Don't Wash Out by the band You, Me, and Everyone We Know. Do you have any final thoughts, Rope Dog?
I think this album's gonna stick with me for a long time, even though I'm a newcomer to it. Just right away when I first heard it, I was like, "Oh yeah, I dig this. This is great." But yeah, this is a great album. If you guys haven't heard it, definitely check it out.
You guys have to.
I think you guys are doing yourself a disservice if you're not going to check it out.
Roper's getting sassy over there.
Sassy Rope Dog over here.
Sassy Rope Dog, dude. All right, man. Well, let's hit up with the next fucking section.
Next one.
So do you guys have a small up-and-coming band that has a song you'd like to share with our listeners? If so, we would be happy to listen and promote you free of charge if we like what we hear. So go ahead, send us an email at ppespodcast@gmail.com with an audio file of your song, a small bio of your band, and the story behind your song. And this week, we have a band called Stage Moms, Roper.
Yeah.
Roper reached out to these guys. Stage Moms is an aggressive pop punk band from Moundsville, West Virginia. They started in the fall of 2019 and released their debut EP in November 2019. In September 2020, they recorded an EP titled Almost Heaven, Feels Like Hell in New Jersey with Ace Enders of the early November.
Nice.
Yeah, right. And Nick Buzzies, I don't know that one, of Man Overboard, which is cool. We talked about them not too long ago.
Yeah.
On November 23rd, 2020, they released their single Sophmore Slump, and on March 12th, they are releasing Almost Heaven Feels Like Hell. So we got some shit to look forward to, these guys. Sophmore Slump is about how I quit my last band because I was too depressed and mentally drained of always being on the road and being constantly broke. I feel that, my dude. But soon after having a normal job and a life, I felt even worse. Ugh. That's fucking sad, dude.
That is.
That's really sad. Well, shit, dude. Let's play the song.
Let's play it.
Thought I was meant for more. Quitting jobs to go on tour. Then we broke up. And I felt so lost. But that's the price you pay. Yeah, that's the price you pay. When you're searching for stability. Never thought this is who I was supposed to be when I was 23. Had everything figured out, been looking for the rain in a drought. Taking meds for anxiety makes me feel out of sleep. Constantly full of doubt, I can't tell what this shit's all about. Is this my sophomore slump? It's my sophomore slump. Is this my sophomore slump? And I wanted more, but ended up with less. Never getting rest from every second best. I confess, I don't even get dressed. Tell me I'm looking for a piece that puts in my head.
All right, Roper. You found these guys out. So
Yeah.
tell me, like, your first experience with that.
So I was kind of looking up new singles last week, and the name stuck out to me first.
Stage Moms.
Stage Moms, and I was thinking it was just going to be kind of, if you get a name kind of like that, you get like a band like Mom Jeans, where it's like kind of like indie pop punk. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll just try it out, and then right away I was hooked.
Yeah, no, it's I was listening to it and I told Roper, they sound a lot like Knuckle Puck.
Yeah, and that's
vocally.
probably like where I was hooked right away. Just that aggressive feel to the song.
Yeah, and like I love when they're like, "Is this my sophomore?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking really dug that. I think they did a great job with this song.
I'm
happy they worked with Ace Enders too. I wonder
Yeah.
how much of influence he had on the song.
That guy's a legend.
Oh, 100%, dude. So fucking good.
Yep.
Either way, great song, guys. Super excited to hear the full EP that's coming out, and we'll be fucking listening, guys.
For sure.
Maybe we'll have you on.
Yeah, we did actually reach out to them, and he asked if he could come on. So
Ooh.
that might be a future episode.
Hell yeah, baby. All right, well, stay tuned. All right, let's hit it off in the next segment.
All right. So, if you guys want to reach out to us,
What you do.
Wait, yeah. We are on, or all of our socials are PPES podcast.
Say it for the people in the back, though.
PPES podcast at gmail.com. I almost said Hotmail.
No!
Gmail, not Hotmail. That is, wait, that's our email. Never mind.
That is our email, but our socials are still PPES podcast.
On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And one day, when we hit 100 followers, we're going to start a TikTok.
A TikTok or in a Patreon, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
One day. We have some ideas.
We got some ideas. I almost said ideas because I was about to say pipeline.
Oh, I think you say hype-deas.
Hype-deas.
Yeah, like,
that too. That's a
pretty
new
dope.
word.
All right, dude. Well, we're hitting the end here.
Yep.
So, overall, this was fucking fun.
This was a fun episode.
Good episode. I like breaking down these albums. I love talking to people in the scene. If any of you guys are like in a band, hit us up. We might want to interview you.
Yeah.
If you like what we hear, we're always open to people contacting us and sending us their music, because like that's what this is about. Us discovering new music, talking about it, informing an audience out there.
Yeah, and showing people new things.
And we appreciate anyone who reaches out to us and suggests music too.
Yes.
So again, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
I guess this is a goodbye.
Bye.
Moon, roll me away.
Roll me away, I wanna roll away tonight.
Wrong song. Oh, no! No, please!